radio YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the main one. Yep. Yep, we are live. Let's see if anyone comes in and says hi. Red Gunther. No, that was just him talking to me. I have so many things going on right now. Me too. Look, dude, I got like 2 phones going at the same time. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Wait,
that's my son. He's texting my oldest.
It gets their green screen in the back and it goes through it.
It disappears.
That's cool. Yeah. That's kind of cool. I'm sitting here. There's someone watching now and they're like, what are they doing? I'm playing with my phone to make the green screen kind of pop into
there.
That's where yeah. I'm having fun. But once you get a green screen, I got tons of US Arc stuff we can do.
Yep. I got it's one that just hooks on the back of the chair, but it'll work.
Yeah, I got this one too, but it don't say US Arc. It just says Join the Reptile Nation. Mm-hmm. And then I have this one, but I did that last week, so I do this one. Dude, this program's so amazing. I'm still learning it though.
Oh,
so
of course.
We got 4 people.
It's a big thing. So, well, let's say hello to everybody.
Yeah, you guys can chat no matter where you guys are listening from. We got a few groups that we're streaming live on. We can officially stream on 8 platforms at one time. So we're streaming all 8.
We're getting out there then, huh?
Yeah, my computer can handle it. It's not even stressing my computer, not even a little bit. My LEDs are not even flashing. Oh, yeah, they are.
They're not flashing, but they are.
Yeah, they're orange. Now it's going to yellow. The orange kind of hides. But yeah, it's going to be a fun day today.
Yeah,
my Cayman lizard's here. That's all that matters. That's all that matters to me.
You had me worried yesterday, man. I was like, I got my box of stuff, and then I was stressed because you were stressed. I'm thinking, I keep sending him pictures of this stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to be bothering him because he's so stressed over his whole Cayman lizard situation.
Oh, I had it where the Cayman lizard's doing great. He didn't eat today, but I couldn't find the snails today. I got clams. So he didn't eat, but my alligator lizards ate some clams. So they're mad at me right now. Alligator lizards are mad at me.
Why are they mad at you?
Because I got lights all over.
Oh, and they like it in the dark.
Yeah, they like it a little bit darker for the setup for the show. I have 2 big umbrella lights up here, and it lets my green screen not have shadows on it.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, they're gone. They're like buried down again. They usually sit out.
Hello, Wally. Hello, Facebook user. I can't see your name,
guys.
but I'm sure.
Facebook. Some Facebook users aren't there, but let me see. If we go to while you guys are doing that, I can go to probably one of the groups. I forget if it's the groups that we can't tell who's saying it, or if it's it's on groups. So I'll keep this group open. Paige is on that, and Leonardo is on the Leopard Gecko Breeder Help. So that's what I'll do is I'll keep that page open and keep it muted because I think it will mess everything up.
Wally's got me inspired, and so did you, to have a complete list for once a week videos, of course. You know, I used to do daily videos, but I cut that out, but now I do the once a week. I'm going to do once a week. I'm not going to show you what it is, but it's a complete page of dates on videos I'm going to do all week and then have it rendered and ready to go.
Yeah, see, I have them, and I keep changing my mind, and it's my mind thing. It's here. But the alligator lizards and the Cayman lizard was going to be my coming out party. And of course, the Cayman lizard had issues, and I couldn't do an unboxing. Like literally, I opened the box in front of the lady right on the counter.
I seen the pictures. It was on a nice counter. You opened it right up. I seen it. Were they worried about it?
No. Well, the lady I have a really good lady. Her name's Cheryl at the FedEx hub that's in Green Bay. She lets me in. She takes care of me. She's the one that told me that the FedEx office was lying to me. Her exact words: "They're lying to you. They don't know where it's at. It's lost." Because at first they were just like, "Oh, it just got misscanned. It's going to be on a 2-day pallet instead of a 1-day pallet." And she totally lied and zoomed in. I know what you will be doing. Oh. There it is. He knows what you're going to be doing. I'm going to put that up real quick. But
It's cool.
But I get taken care of there. And when the caiman lizard bit me, I knew that it was okay. I was like, he's fight. I'll be able to feed him and everything else. And I didn't think he was going to eat today.
Yeah, it's
because
stressful 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, it was 3 days, 3 nights.
Yeah,
because he came out. He was shipped on 23rd.
Oh,
and so Snakes at Sunset's where I bought him, and they were communicating with me until yesterday, which scared me. But they were busy, and they know who I am. I know who they are, and I was like, "Hey, we might have to put a claim on this animal, and I can't do it. Has to be you." Yes. And then all of a sudden, when I brought that up to FedEx, it popped up that night, and my package was in the cab of the truck when he got drove from Appleton to Green Bay. He was in the cab of the truck. So I was happy there. It was stressful because I'm sitting there like, this is a dream lizard of mine. I'm like, oh, this is my species. I want to work with it, and then I get it, and it's like, oh, okay. If it was a gecko, it would have showed up. It'd have been fine. It would have been no big deal. Not that my geckos aren't cool, but I mean,
if it's a dream animal of yours, though, that's totally different level of. It's a totally whole different thing.
So I got him set up basic because I always set things up basic for at least the first week. I want to see. He's already pooped though. He's already pooped in the tub, so he's already pooped. But I keep him basic. I'll give him baths every day and stuff like that until I see that he's eating, and then I'll put him in the cage. With this basic cage, he's got a hot spot 110. I think it was 112 though. Hot spot.
Do you know if it's wild caught or captive born?
They're not captive born. They're captive born. They're farm raised.
Okay.
There's none that it's so hard to see a captive bred one in the United States, and I'm hoping to change that.
That's what I was just going to say. That'd be a good thing to get into, I guess.
My wife likes tegus. She likes tegus, and when I told her about the caiman lizard, I'm like, it's like a tegu that was crossed with an alligator, And I'll tell you, I took her right to Clint's video. Clint has oh my God, Clint has an amazing video. That he's so energetic about it, and he's not an energetic guy, but he's like, how do you put it? He's like an alligator and a tegu and a wizard put them together, and that's what it is.
The other videos I seen him get real enthused about was the alligator snapping turtles. Did you ever see him with that ones? He's so energetic about them ones.
And the reason I like stuff like the Clint's videos and Dave's videos is my daughter. I can literally throw my daughter on there and say, "Yeah, watch them. Who cares? You'll never see nothing bad."
No, never hear nothing bad, nothing.
So
they do not.
I'm going to be. I have to start, and that's what this was. So I'm going to be recording what I'm going to be doing with the alligator lizards and the caiman lizards every day, and I'll be putting together videos, and that will get this funk out of my head and start getting stuff done. Like I'll be showing, because this the caiman lizard doesn't like me. He hisses, he whips, he tries to bite. So I'm going to show people how to get around that.
I was going to say, you were petting his head today.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain ways. I mean, just like any reptile, like if you go at a reptile a certain way, it won't react. But if I would have went fast, like literally to do that, it took me like 15 minutes to just go slow. And I started, he would whip me. Then he went slow again, he would whip me. And I'm like, okay. And then I held him and let my daughter touch his back. But I haven't held him. I let him sit in my hand. So I'm really excited about him. Like really, really excited about him.
Do they have a strong bite?
When it bit me, I had like, it looked like a person bit me, to tell you the truth. For like an hour, I had the indentations. But I don't think he bit down as hard as he could.
Yeah.
Because I think it was more of a, hey, leave me alone bite. Like as I just reached in the bag and I pulled him out. Because when I picked up the bag, it was packed with paper. It had the heat pack and a CeeLo pack in it. And so I picked up the bag. It did nothing. And I'm like, I knew right there. I was like, that's not a good sign. I opened a bag and it gave me a little hiss. I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. And I just stuck my hand in there, and it must have started. It turned around and nailed my hand, but it didn't even break the skin. It didn't break the skin. So
because it was gone for so long, lost. in
Yep.
transit. Was it still warm or was it cool or what was it okay?
It was about room temperature. Yeah.
Saying it wasn't too bad then. It wasn't like it was cold or nothing.
He was active too. Once I got him and put him, because I took him out of that, and when I went to the car, I left him in the bag and I drove to my job. I was working, and I drove to my job, and I had a 32 quart tub that had 2 heat packs wrapped in paper towel, and put them on each side, and he sat on those all day. So when I measured his temp there, he was 91 degrees. So at that time, when I was petting his head, he was like 91, 92 degrees. So he was getting there. He was like, yeah, here we go. And now
mess with me in 5 minutes.
now he was basking when I checked on him earlier, but I guess they only bask like 4 hours out of the day, roughly.
Yeah, I like I said, I've never had one. I've never dealt with one, so I'm not even. I've dealt with a lot of stuff, but nothing like those. So.
Yeah, we got. Oh man, I don't even know what else what I'm gonna add to the collection. I just talked to Wally about getting some other type of geckos, which he said that he doesn't work with anymore. So I'm gonna have to, if I want those, I gotta find them somewhere else. But I'm gonna try to work on some rare geckos, because I mean the leopard gecko thing's cool, and I'm gonna do videos on it, of course. But doing stuff with other animals is kind of cooler.
Yeah. Wally, there's a hint. Start breeding them geckos again. That way.
I don't even know how much they cost.
I got them. And then yesterday I also got the Everglades rat snakes that are for scaleless yesterday. I was excited about that also. I was like, I wasn't even expecting that. I thought they were going to a different day, but no, it just came right along. I'm like, holy cow.
That's a cool day for you.
Yeah.
See, I was worried because I told you I was packing 8. And for some reason, you're my first package shipped this year. And yeah. So you were my first one, and for some reason, I thought I had the box that could take 8 geckos. And they were only the 12 by 6. They only fit 4 geckos, and then small packages, like little small package on the side. And I sat there and I'm like, oh crap, how am I going to do this? Well, I'm like, I could shorten the cup on the geckos because they would have been all in the tall cup. I'm like, shorten the cup on the ones. The Eclipse wouldn't fit in one of those. And then I think I left by one of the reins out or something like that.
Yeah, there was 2 big cups and the rest were the smaller ones because they were smaller. But like I said, they ride fine. There was not a thing wrong.
So when I was like, I got to get them 8 geckos. I have to. And then so I ordered bigger boxes. I got boxes coming. TSK and Reptiles to You probably loved me yesterday. I spent like, I don't know, $400 or $500 yesterday at TSK and like $400 with Reptiles to You.
I know the one was kind of there's 2 of them. I'm trying to think which ones they were. The big one. I'm not sure what was that.
The Eclipse. Yeah, the Eclipse.
She had a little bit of an attitude. She hissed.
Well, the reason that they do is they usually start calming down because all my clouded, that's from a clouded line.
Yeah.
That's a Gen 1. But it was one that lightened up. And I usually take them geckos and I'm always looking for markers. There's certain markers to look for, and it makes darker geckos. And that was one of the ones I was going to hold back. And I wanted to take it to that Raptor I sent you because of the white and yellow and the way that her pattern is. I was like, that's going to make some pretty white and yellow babies. And I get white and yellow Eclipse because I don't produce white and yellow Eclipse. And I was like, with the darker gecko, it's going to look cooler. It's just going to be a cool gecko. And then I was like, we'll let Andrew have that project. Because I might actually get more away from the white and yellow stuff. I might only produce like 20 of each, 20 Trempers and 20 Bells. That's about it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, pictures do these animals no justice compared to seeing them in person.
The rainwaters never take good pictures. The rainwaters just don't. That orange hue, that orange like fire spots is what I call them, the fire spots. That was my only male left of the rainwater stuff. That was I don't even have a backup male for me. I was like, whatever, because my male's a breeding machine. And so I got 20 eggs out of that group right now, maybe 22 from that same group this year. And then I got the Gem Snow group, which the first Gem Snow gecko was just an Eclipse. But,
So here's a question for you, and Wally too, because I know Wally. He's bred a lot of leopard geckos in his time. What makes you determine which eggs you're going to produce the incubate as males, and which ones you determine are going to be bred as females?
I do the first two clutches as males on important projects, and for random projects, I do the first two eggs total, just 2 eggs. Rest is female.
Okay,
so I do it the whole time. Now,
so it's always the first clutch.
Yep,
It's always males. The rest are females.
The reason is I know this might be a dumb reason why I do this, but I can see how that pair is going to make, what it's going to make. I get an idea saying, is that a good pair faster? I'll get to it in 35 days. And I'll be like, yep, look at what that's doing, Now it does backfire though, because like the gem snows, I got 2 more eggs to hit from my female that is V588. That's the one. I love this female bell. She has 6 eggs cooking in the female incubator. I only got 2 eggs to hit a gem bell albino gem radar.
Mm-hmm.
And now watch, I'm not going to hit the gem radar or gem bell male with the 2 eggs, but I'll hit it in the females. So it is what it is. But I kind of see where the project's going to go a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a master. I'm not even close to being a master. I to tell you the truth, and Wally probably say this too, and you probably know this. We all fly by the seat of our pants.
Mm-hmm. I know. I do. That's what I do.
I mean, I can write down a plan. I can write down a whole plan and be like, 80% of it might go through, and then to the other 20%, I'm like, oh no, that female's going to go here. No, this male's going to go there. Like I was telling, I think I was talking to Miles the other day, and I said I got to reverse engineer this stuff, and I got people asking me about Pure Max Macularis, and I'm like, I'm not going to have them this year for people for sale. I'm going to produce me 2 more males, and the rest are going to be females for reverse engineering stuff. And someone said that was unfair. I was like, well, go buy some. So I'm thinking about buying another female. I contacted Steve, and I'm going to get another female. And maybe I'll release like 10 or so.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, with the reverse engineering, how do you breed everything out of it and get it back to its original?
Think of it this way. The same way as breeding it together to get to it. So when I breed, let's say I breed a radar to a Pure Mac or Macularis. I shouldn't say Pure Mac. Someone's going to say Mac Snow. A Pure Macularis, and then I'll get it, and I will have, if it's a Pure Radar, 100% het animals. So then I take that back and breed it to a Pure Macularis. I get 50% het animals. So there'll be 50% het a bell and 50% het eclipse. So now I can sit there and say, okay, now I can take this male. I'm going to breed it to 3 radars. I'm going to find out what's in it. And if it's just bell, cool. I got myself a het pure bell. If it's eclipse, I got to, you know what I'm saying? I'll have no eclipse in it. I'll be able to see what's coming out of that. Once I tell people you need about 60 eggs, give or take, when it's het to het. When it's visual to het, 60 eggs will give you the answer. When it's like het to visual. If it's visual to visual, of course, you get it right away. But het to het, you need about 60 eggs to really make sure. I've had animals I bred that was het to het, and I bred them all year, and I got 8 eggs. Did not get an animal that was visual. It just didn't happen.
That's why I ask. Because some people try to sit there and think, "Well, is that possible to do?" But yeah, if you do it that way and you're thinning it out as it goes, you'll get there. I guess.
Then people ask where I get rid of the animals. I'm not ashamed to say it. I sell pet geckos all the time. If someone's looking just for a pet gecko, or I give them away. If I'm at a reptile show and let's say a mom and dad's like, I'm going to be a breeder, and they're spending like $400 and their child wants a gecko, and they're like, oh, we'll get it next time. I'm like, do you have a cage for it? And they're like, yeah, I just give them a gecko. I'm like, well, which one do you want? You pick from this pile. Or, I wholesale them out to my pet stores. I need more pet stores, but I get pet stores, especially in Green Bay. Green Bay show. I got 2 or 3 pet stores that come up there to that show, and they'll take 50 to 60 geckos total between them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go take a Jawa.
Okie dokie.
I'm eating snacks. I'm hungry.
So how long does it take you to get back to a pure line? So how many years? Because I know it's not going to be overnight. It's going to take probably a couple of years. But how long do you think?
In theory, if you have a visual animal, it can take 3 years minimum to get it. 3 years minimum. So it took me 4 years to get to pure Murphy patternless. It took me 4.
So let me ask you. Now you got back to pure Murphy patternless, right? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Now, what other ones are you doing? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm going to have pure Max Snow, Macularis. It's just going to be a pure Macularis Max Snow. I got pure Eclipse, which I am 99% sure I have them. The male is, should I say the male? I think I want to breed it one more season, but I'm pretty sure he's had 2 seasons, but I've only got 30 something eggs out of him. Then I'll take, once I get a male, that's what I'm aiming for, is when I'm breaking down the stuff, I'm looking for a male. And then once I get that male that's proven that's the only thing in him, I take, that's why I want the pure Macularis. Then I take to a pure Macularis, I make het animals, breed them back, almost just like the Tremper was started. And then I can breed it out. And then breed it back up. There? What's that?
He said the pet gecko.
Well, yes, that's 4 people your way this week.
It's just easier to type Warner Exotics.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I get people that ask for pet geckos, and I'm like, yeah, I got tons of pet geckos. I don't. I'm also another person that don't believe in breeding a gecko until they're 20 years old. So my breeders, I retire at like 5 to 6. And that's kind of weird because my Macularis are 2016 animals. I just bought them, but they're virgin animals. They've never been bred. So I retire my breeders pretty quickly.
Here's a question for you that you could probably answer from a Facebook user. It says my Tangerine Rainwater laid some duds for her first clutch. It's been about 17 days, and I feel like I don't see the next clutch.
Well, 17 days is still not a lot of time. The first day, the first duds it happens. Any breeder of leopard geckos is going to tell you the beginning of the season, you're going to see duds. Then in the middle of the season, you're going to start seeing all of them are going to be good. Then at the end of the season, you're going to see duds. So that's how it usually goes. They either run out of sperm or the first ones didn't catch. 17 days, if you still don't see eggs, it could be a big, healthy gecko. Or she just is going to give you 2. I know geckos, some geckos only give you 2 to 4 eggs.
Yeah, he was wondering if the pairing didn't work out or something.
But repair it. But I know it's fun watching. People are going to get really mad here. I know it's fun watching them pair up. It's you put them in, he's like, oh, they're breeding. Do you know the last time I seen a gecko breed in my collection? I can't remember. I mean, years ago. I literally, I'm like, oh, that male there, boom. And I close the drawer. Then I go through and I put the tag there and I go finish up doing what I'm doing. The male stays there for 24 hours.
That's what I was doing a couple of years ago when I was doing them. I'd throw the male in. If I heard the tail going, I knew I'd just leave him be. Wouldn't even look in there because you hear him rattle that tail.
Your virgin female is probably the issue. She just didn't take right. It's her first year, so she's going to throw a dud. I think you're still going to be fine. I honestly do. I think you're going to get eggs from her again. Repair them. Just because it's a proven breeder doesn't mean anything. I've had proven breeders have to be paired up, and that's why I leave them in there for 24 hours, and then I'll re-rotate them in. Everyone's like, do you repair? I have groups of geckos in 3s and 4 females, and then I have individuals. All my high-end stuff is individually bred. Then my wholesale or raptor stuff, like, oh, it's just a raptor. I know it's going to be a raptor. It's just a radar or something like that. I have radar groups. People think it's the male leopard gecko that's going to be aggressive. I don't care if it's a 95-gram male. A 45-gram female will beat it down. It just will. If she ovulates, look for that ovulation. Look for the ovulation. If you see it, repair them. You can just put him back in there and make sure that if she's not receptive and she's not going to breed, then that's it. Yeah, I honestly think 17 days isn't that long to worry about. I've had geckos go 3 weeks up to a month, and then I
had some go a month.
It just happens. It's just the way it is. And fat geckos don't breed as well as lean geckos, and thin geckos don't breed. There's a gecko look. And Miles and I were talking about this. There's a look to a gecko. It's not really the weight. It's the look of it. I have geckos that are like 80 grams. I'm like, nope, it's too thin because it's a big animal. And then I got some that are 45 grams. Like, yeah, they're ready to go. This is the way it is.
Yeah, I've had some that were really big, but they were like overweight, and it just wasn't doing nothing. They weren't doing much.
Yeah, I mean, here's a really big secret for everyone because we're streaming on Leopard Gecko Breeder Help. It used to be, and I'm not playing at all, used to be 100% leopard geckos bred at 35 grams. See, that's what used to be the weight. Leopard gecko eggs have not gotten bigger. But geckos gotten bigger with line breeding. We breed the biggest and the strongest and the biggest and the strongest and the biggest and the strongest. A leopard gecko in the wild is not going to have food available to it as much as it does in our rack systems. So they're going to grow faster with us. In the wild, the gecko might not breed until the second year. This might not.
That reverts back to like even ball pythons. I know we're talking about leopard geckos, but people say wait till 1,500 grams. But, back in the day, you would get a box of wild caught ball pythons in, and you would have a female that was 800-900 grams, and she would lay eggs because in the wild, they're nowhere near.
You remember Jazz Ball?
Yes, I do remember Jazz
He
Ball.
He would breed an 800-gram female ball python and get 3 eggs out of it and wouldn't care.
Yeah,
that's what he would do. Now, me personally, when you got a collection as large as mine, I can go through and be like, well, that female's not working out, and I can rotate her out, or that female's not. I mean, some people are going to get mad if I don't get 12 eggs out of a female and she's healthy at the end of them 12 eggs. She's usually adopted out. I adopt her out as a pet gecko. Now some geckos usually give you 8 to 10. That's fine, but if I'm getting a gecko, give me 4 to 6. They're not a good breeder. They usually don't recover as well. They just don't. And I have a white and yellow female here that is an amazing white and yellow female. People will be shocked if I told them what one it is, but it's just an amazing gecko. It will never be bred again. I bred it this season. She was 62 grams, and she's laid me 2 clutches, and she's probably down to 36 grams already. She will not be bred ever again. It will not happen. So I will take the eggs. I will incubate what I get, and I will get her back up the weight, and she'll be adopted out to as a pet.
Just make sure you bring the keys back over before you go anywhere. I had ones. I'm trying to think what they were. They were like rainbow stripes or something like that from years ago.
Steve Sykes, rainbow.
Yeah, and the female, I got out of all the time I had her, 1 egg. That's all I ever got. And it hatched, but that's all I got was just 1 egg. And she would lock up all the time and everything. Just 1 egg ever. That's it. Never laid another egg.
For my bell stuff, I tend to get my average around 8 to 10, 12. I got some big girls that give me more. My rainwater stuff, they just pump out eggs. I have no clue if it's just a rainwater gene, but I mean, the one female gave me 22 last year, and she's on 8 eggs, and she hasn't lost a gram. She doesn't care. She just pumps out eggs and eats.
Sounds like one of Wally's Picta geckos over there pumping out 20, 25, 24 eggs.
White and yellow blood. I think bloods is a good one to go with white and yellow. I honestly do.
You locked the inside door too, but
Oh, did I?
From first,
you kinda did.
white and yellow
One
and blood
these
did not go
ones.
together.
These ones good
Or
to
not
know.
blood, should I say
Doesn't
tangerine?
know.
I think it's this one.
So, white and yellow and tangerine at the beginning, back in 2013, 2014, it was not something you wanted to see. They were ugly geckos. They were like, whoa. We took some time, but I think blood would do good because blood's a darker animal. It's more of a, I don't know, deep orange. It's not like that brightish neon orange. I think it would do good with white and yellow, and I think it plays really good with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the blood bell is amazing.
It's working out all that, making the best of the best till you get what looks really good.
I have Infernos here. I have Infernos, but I'm testing them. They got tested last year for they're both females. So they got tested last year for Tremper. And I bred them to a raptor, no albinos. And this year they're getting tested to Bell. So I'm just testing them out. That's why I hate females. I gotta test them out. It takes me so long to test them out, but and then I sell them off, and then I'll have pure Infernos, I guess, in next year. Maybe.
Now with leopard geckos, which ones do you what leopard gecko more for gene or whatever do you think is the best looking one? What do you think is like one that says, if I was going to start out, this is one I would need in my collection to start? Well, not even to start, but to have. Make sure you shut that down.
I'm a white and yellow bell person, but it's gonna be hard because I'm not really into white and yellow bell anymore. I'm more into my line bred stuff that I'm working on. I like that clown look, and I got a line here that didn't come from clown. I just kind of popped out of my blood stuff, and me and Evan were making fun of it. He goes, "Why don't you put clown on that?" I'm like, "Well, it's not from clown. It just popped out of my blood stuff," and I'm breeding for it. And I mean, I like orange. I like bell albino. The black geckos don't do it for me. Everyone's like Black Knight this, Black Knight that. I just okay. I mean, I got dark geckos too. I don't. I mean, I like the line bred stuff. I like the bold stuff. I was talking to oh gosh, she's gonna kick my butt for forgetting her name now. I was just talking to her too. Heidi Bolds. I call them Heidi Bolds. And from Xena, and her bolds are amazing. Heidi's from Xena her bolds are some of the best I've seen. And we can make pictures look like anything. We can edit pictures and do contrast stuff, but in person, I can pick up her bold and just be like, "Whoa, it's a bold gecko." And I really like Xena's bold line, and I call them Heidi Bolds. You can ask her. I say that's a Heidi Bold. Like literally, someone could post a picture of it. I'm like, that's a Heidi Bold. And she's just good people too.
Now, see with like leopard geckos, I like the bright colors.
30 eggs in a season.
I was reading that. Yeah, that's a lot. That's good. Second season.
I gotta show people this. 30 eggs. That's a lot. Wow. Yep. Wow. But yeah, bells are good. I tell people to breed what they like. I mean, with the people coming back into it, you're going to start seeing some other stuff. Like, it's really good that Matt's coming back into the leopard gecko game. Matt's coming back in. We're going to get some really detailed projects. The guy's an insane guy when he looks at a gecko and he's like, well, this little orange line there is going to do this, and this is going to happen, and it's insane.
He's like a Justin Gabolka of the gecko world.
And I think it's a really good thing that he's coming in, because the reason I think it's a good thing is he understands genetics. He understands the importance of the history of geckos. He understands the foundation. And he knows, like, he knows not to do this and do that. And I mean, he doesn't have to be taught anything. He's teaching people. So I like that he's coming back. The Miles, the Wallies, if Wally would start doing it again, I would love to see Wally jump back into leopard geckos.
I think that would be awesome.
Oh, this is. I mean, I think they're cool, but it's just a melanistic look, and some of them aren't even super dark and kind of overpriced. I get the work that you do, but yeah, melanistic just. I mean, you can ask people. I don't even charge that much for cloudeds. I don't. My clouded stuff, I don't. I mean, I haven't taken anything insane, but I don't. I didn't like bulls. What is that? I didn't like bulls until they looked at them in person. Yep.
See now, the melanistic stuff. I'm not a big. I personally, my personal taste, I'm not a real big fan of the melanistic stuff. But like when you get into some of that other stuff that has like the really deep black striping on it or something or markings, I like that. But just total dark animal. Now, but when you get into crested geckos, I like the axanthics and the really dark stuff in that. It's just something about the leopard gecko. I prefer to have it bright colored stuff. I guess I don't know.
The crested geckos are intriguing me. It's really intriguing me because they just had that melanistic posted. I think there's 2 or 3 of them now.
The one I showed you the picture of?
Yeah, the melanistic and like some of the stuff I see, like I go to Wally's table and I always try to look for the crested geckos, but by the time I get free or something, I go over there and he's like sold out almost every time. The guy just sells geckos, but we all do. But his geckos, like his Dalmatians, you can see the years that gone into it. And I mean, he has this one Dalmatian he brings, and it just sits on top of the little light stand, and it's just insane looking. Let's see what Wally said here. I'm not into really dark animals either, except what you can do with them long term. Yeah, exactly. The crested geckos, I honestly think they're starting to come into their own. They're starting. The leopard geckos have the recessive traits and the dominant traits and the codominant, or not. I mean, incomplete dominance and stuff like that. And crested geckos are now getting into that. So what's else going to pop out? I think it was Matt posted one that he thought was an albino, but he never bred it.
What, a crested gecko?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of. I don't think I've never seen an albino one, but yeah, I'm sure there's got to be one out there somewhere, or there's going to be sooner or later.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing about crested geckos though is the wild population was so knocked down.
Mm-hmm.
So it was us that kind of, not me, but the community that bred crested geckos back into existence. In leopard geckos, we were pulling stuff out of wild, and there was people farming them just like, ball pythons, because ball python trade, everyone's like, oh, they all came in. No, there's smart people over in Africa that, oh, look at this cool thing. What American wants to buy this today? That's what they do.
Because Wally said it pied. There was a pied, and I've seen that one, the pied crested gecko. But now with everybody that's breeding them, with all the numbers that are being produced, do you think that someday there will be an albino one? Do you think that sooner or later one will pop up somewhere?
I don't see a reason why not. Like the pied, I don't see why. I mean, mutation is a genetic flaw. And when we breed it, it happens in humans. It happens in all animals. Stuff pops out. The more we breed it, that's why you see the Bells and the Ron Trempers, because they're breeding on such huge numbers. Stuff pops out more often. Matt's Cresty was a pied. Okay, so Matt's Cresty was a pied. And it's just, I think that there's so much more work that can be done with crested geckos that I don't know how to explain it other than I don't think they even hit close to the peak. I don't think they have it all.
I could be honest with you that I'm definitely going to be working on expanding my crested gecko. A few years ago, I don't know exactly how long it's been. Oh, wow. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I had bought a pair of crested geckos from Wally. And he still talks about the video of me opening it because I let my daughter open it up and she had a knife and she's stabbing the box. And Wally's like, I couldn't watch that. I think she's going to cut her fingers off.
No.
She wasn't stabbing through the box. She was just trying to cut open.
Yeah, cut
paper
open
to
the-
put- But yeah, no, they were definitely one of my. I really enjoy the Crested Geckos. Like the one that Becky just got me. It's just like I
You
take
want
pictures. I take pictures of it every day. I don't know why.
my favorite thing about Cresties is I can work on them and I don't sweat because I'm not in the gecko room. They're just room temp. I'm like, I can work on them. I'm good to go. I don't have to sweat. I don't have to deal with bugs. I love that part of it because I like literally I get a big syringe. I make up a bunch and I just suck it all up in a syringe and I just go. That's what I do, and it's quick, easy. There's times that I get into a Crested Gecko. I don't even see the Crested Gecko. I'm like, whatever. And, but in my gecko room, I'm doing geckos. It's just, I sweat. I'm like, okay, I've done these 3 racks. I'm gonna rest for a little bit. And I'll come in, sit in like this room here because this room's at like 62 degrees because now that I have no heat in this room. I blocked off the heat from the heater, everything because of the alligator lizards. I got to keep them in the 60s.
You know, Crested Geckos are going to be one of my things, but that I'm going to try to work on getting. But I like the gargoyle geckos and the Leachianus. I know Wally's not the biggest fan of Leachianus, but he says it's because of his size.
They're big.
But then I heard him say they look like. I heard it come out of his mouth. Looks like a turd on a log.
My problem is
just kidding you, Wally. I'm just kidding you.
That's my problem with them too, is their size and what they're going to take in my collection is, do I really want to breed that to sell it? Is that something I want to do? I wanted the Leachianus that Red put up for auction. I did want that one, but it's just because it was from Red.
Jerk.
That's great.
I'm just playing with you, Wally,
and like the room I'm in now, I'm going to convert into my cooler room in my office. I want my species. I can't put the Cayman lizard in here because it's going to heat it up too much. I got a third room down here that I'm going to be making for reptiles only. It's going to be all the large stuff. And we're going to see what happens. But Leachianus, I'm not sure if I want to breed them. I kind of want to do them species that no one else does, sort of like Wally does with geckos. It's like when Wally takes all these geckos there, you're starting to see stuff that you don't see anywhere else. So if I get tegus, captive bred tegus, I don't see no one have captive bred tegus up here.
No. So you just want like a room that's just your personal collection of stuff that's rare.
I'm actually looking for a building. I actually started looking 3 days ago, seriously again. And I got a cage builder, a designer I talked to, and I told him, I said, quantity is not as important to me as quality of the viewing and the size of the cage. I would rather have 4 really awesome cages and nice cages than have 20. So
yeah. See, and that would be the thing with having Leachianus, the size of the enclosures, big time. And I don't even know do you know how many eggs they produce in a year in a season? I
don't know. I've never even owned one.
Yeah, me either. So that's why I was
let's see, what do I all breed? Oh geez. I have, let's just say what I got eggs for right now. I have tokay geckos, gargoyles, cresteds, leopards. I have gravid alligator lizards, gravid corn snakes. Oh my God, let me think here. I will be getting a pair of cave geckos at Sewerfest that is gravid right now. Let me think. Mossy leaf tails. I don't breed satanic, so I can't say that. I have satanics. I'm trying to go around my room, like around it. I have fanfoots, but I don't breed them yet. So I can't say that. I can't say that I breed those. Going around and around and around and around. Then I got a pair of boas too. That she should be gravid right now. Just normal boas. And let's see. And what was the other question he said? Oh, I'm breeding bearded dragons and Leos. I have bearded dragons too, but I don't breed them. We have bearded dragons.
While he was talking about the ones he was breeding, you know, on that thing, he did a video and he was talking about them, and he says, they just were a lot of work for him. He just they just took a lot of his time, is what I believe. He said something to
Space,
that effect.
time, everything. Now that I'm getting some more rare stuff, I can't leave like I did before. I have to have someone come here and do, you know, take care of stuff. But my leopard geckos, I could leave for a week and it wouldn't hurt them. I could leave for 2 weeks. When I left for 2 weeks earlier, I had someone check on them one time. And literally, I said this, pull them out, mist them down, you know.
This other Facebook user right here, I can't see his name, it just says Facebook user, wants to know what a good species of gecko is to jump into apart from leopard geckos and fat-tailed geckos.
Honestly, if you like climbers, gargoyles and crested are amazing. Both of them are just amazing. Like I said, I like crested because I don't sweat when I work with them. I don't have to sweat. Oh, geez. Someone said total count. Oh, geez. We'll get to that. Let's see. Other geckos. I like cave geckos. This will be my first time having cave geckos. Let's see. Leachianus is fun. Honestly, you just got to look into it and see which ones that you like the most.
I was just saying,
so many.
It's more of a preference of what you like, because no matter what you like, you can get into it and enjoy it if it's something you like. I know morning geckos are pretty cool because you don't even have to sex those. You just throw them in a thing and you start having babies.
Yeah, I got a friend that's going to be giving me, or we're trading for a pair of cave geckos. So I'm really excited about it. I already got the cage set up and everything. I told her if she don't see anything on my table, I'll purchase them off of her. I got a fat tail off her at the last show, and this fat tail is just spoiled fat boy. I mean, seriously, it eats out of my hand. I literally hold it. It comes up and he goes, I'm going to take it.
Wally Kern said Peridora picta, which apparently I've seen, you're starting to see more and more of them. So that's a good one to get into too. But again, it has to be something you like. If it's something you don't like, or people say that if it's something you don't physically look at and like it itself, you might not enjoy it.
And what I tell people,
the personality too is another thing you have to.
If you don't like the animal that you're going to breed, you're not going to take care of it. No. We're human. So if it doesn't interest you, you're going to sit there and be like, oh, I got to take care of this again. Oh, I got to. It shouldn't be work when you got an animal.
It should be fun.
Honestly, when I'm stressed out, I'm working with my animals. I actually work with my animals. I like getting bit. I mean, I'm strange. I like getting bit, and I like dealing with it. I want my venomous back because that was my happiest time in my reptile world. And total count. Someone asked total count of animals.
No, I think he meant eggs. Total count of eggs. How many eggs you got? Maybe, because that's what you were talking about, but I could be wrong.
Total count of eggs. I'm 800, 900 right now. Right now at this time, 800, 900. About 700 of those are leopard geckos. How should I say it? I mean, I want to be one of the largest leopard gecko breeders there is, but I don't want to be. Total count of reptiles. See, reptiles. I want to be the largest leopard gecko breeder. I think I am in Wisconsin, but I want to be the one that tracks the genetics the most. The largest one that does that, and that's why I'm reverse engineering everything. But total reptile. I honestly, I don't know that number. I don't know it. I have no clue. I don't know. Is that bad?
No, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think that's bad, because when I had all my stuff, people would go, what do you have? Like when I was arguing with the city down here on what we should be able to keep, what should be able to keep, they're like, how many reptiles do you have? And I says, to be honest with you, I don't know. I didn't count them. And then the mayor was like, don't you think that's wrong? Don't you think you should know? I'm like, no, as long as they're being taken care of, you can send somebody out to look. I don't need to know an exact number count. They're not bothering you.
It'd be hard pressed for you to come in my place and see something that's off. Now, like there's people out there that says you got to have water bowls with every leopard gecko. I don't believe in that. My leopard geckos, because I would rather me clean their tub, mist them down, and have clean water that way than have a stagnant, stale water bowl that they're drinking out of with powder in it and poop in it, stuff like that. So
how often do you wipe the cage down and do that? Give them water a week?
I do. I mist down twice a week, and I wipe down everything. They get all my babies. Every single baby gets rotated out once a week. So I got 2 tubs for every baby, 2.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, I'll take it out. It's already got a tag on it and everything. I pull it out. It's all brand new. I put the babies in, put all the stuff in, mist it down, put it in, and then that tub gets cleaned later. All my females and my breeders, I don't clean those during breeding season. They do better if you do not. I know someone's going to be like, oh my God. The leopard geckos do better if you scrape, vacuum. I don't like vacuum anymore. There used to be a way where we'd use shop vacs and vacuum it all out, the crap and stuff like that, but it just throws it in the air. I don't care what kind of filter you have on the vacuum. It just throws it in the air. So I scrape. I'll scrape everything and I'll give it like a little wipe. And then what I do is for the water is all my hides have their big Rubbermaid things. I have 2 lids for every cage. Take the one off, put it on, and that's where the water collects.
Yeah, the shop vac thing, but I found that too. I find I end up wearing a big old dust mask and all that when I do it that way.
Oh, Roy's asking Pures. I don't know. I'm thinking about picking up another Pure Macularis female or maybe 2. I'm talking to Steve now. But I only have 1.1 pair of Pure Macularis. There are no morphs, no line bred traits, nothing. This is Pure Macularis. But I'm going to need that to start reverse engineering some other stuff. I need that stuff like to breed my Het Eclipse male that's Het for nothing else. I could breed that into a female or 2 and bring them babies back to make some Pure Eclipse. And if I get another 2 females, 1 female, something like that, I'll probably release like 6 or so. And same here with the water. I have 50 Leos. Roy has one of mine. Leopard gecko wise, I don't even know how many leopard geckos I have, honestly. I got a weird numbering system. I got a really weird numbering system. All my holdbacks get a number, and if they get sold, they have another number, so I can reuse that holdback number. If I don't hold it back, once it goes to breeding, it keeps that number. It's really weird. But like you can come into my place and you can say like, what's the breeder M1620, and I'm like, oh, that's a gem snow, and it's 100% het radar, you know, and the M stands for male, and like what V588, and that's a bell albino. I'm weird like that. I can remember the name or the numbers of my breeders. 171 is a really, really cool rainwater. And then I separate projects. Like I got an incubator just for bell albino, and I got an incubator just for rainwater stuff. I got an incubator for tremper stuff. Then I got an incubator for, now I just created it smaller just for pure stuff and clouded. Pure and clouded go in that one. And then I got racks that are just bell albino stuff, and then I got racks that are just tremper stuff. People go, how do you do it by yourself? And I explained it to Miles. I was like, I have 2 tubs for everything. And it's like, so one day I'm just cleaning tubs. I just clean tubs all day, and I'll sit there and just jam out. And then I don't have to worry about that. Take the animal out, put it in another tub, anything like that. I'm taking that step out of it. So.
Hello, Tanisha. How are you?
Tanisha.
Yeah,
and I will be showing that cleaning. I will, on a video, I will be showing that cleaning technique.
Not to change the subject for a second here, but Tanisha, my last live stream that you were on, Gary told you, but you jumped off, and I don't think you heard him, to keep doing the videos you're doing about your reviews or something like that. He said you like them.
Yeah, I actually watch your review and stuff, your books and your movies and stuff. I'm not sure if I seen one that you did the Vikings. If you like TV, watch the Vikings. I got
Yeah, you got me hooked on it. So I've been watching about a week now, but I like it.
Vikings is a good show.
Yeah, Floki's the man.
That's my favorite character is Floki. Floki is my favorite character in that because are you at the point where Lothbrok is against Floki? Are you there yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, I won't tell you. You'll see. It's insane. It's insane. But you've seen where Lothbrok's brother's against him because that's in like season 2.
Yeah, and Floki kind of he's kind of turning against people. I'm at the point where he's kind of like unsure, like I don't know about him anymore.
But he's always loyal. It's weird. He's loyal. But he has this. He's thinking, and it reminds you of Lothbrok. Because it is based on a true story.
Yeah,
they think this is actually how it happened. Now, is it the right way? No, but these people actually existed. So,
yeah, so it'll be cool. Yeah, I noticed that. I know their characters are based on true people that existed. So
I like stuff like that.
And with me being half Norwegian, I kind of think it's cool. See,
I love history, and that's why I'm writing. I could say this. I talked to Ron Tremper yesterday.
I was just going to bring this up before you go any further. As soon as you said you loved history, I was going to say this is why. Yeah, and I was going to say I don't know if he wants people to know yet.
Yep. I'm making a site. I can tell everybody. I kind of set it into a private chat, and then I kind of put it up on Leopard Gecko Breeding Help. I own the domain geckohistory.com. Geckohistory.com. There's a Leopard Gecko Morph book.
I read this book in a couple hours.
Yeah. Ron knows I don't agree with some of the stuff in that book. There's some things I don't agree with. Like white and yellow is not a line bred trait. I'll tell him that every day. I've dealt with white and yellow more than Ron Tremper. But at the same time, there's other things in that book that is correct. I talked to him. He said that he's going to be an open book. He'll answer questions. He told me he's doing great in Costa Rica.
He retired, right?
Yeah, he's retired. He's in Costa Rica right now. That's why I didn't know if he was going to answer me because how I started talking to him yesterday, or it would have been the day before. I'm these days with my Cayman lizards been slammed together. Is someone asked about Bubba, the het Tremper that was, the original Tremper. He was brought into the country with Rosie, which was a Tremper albino, and then Bubba was a Tremper. And I didn't know if he was alive. I thought he passed away in 2016. It was 2012. I just remember Ron posting about it. He died at 16 years old. So I emailed him. I said, hey, and he goes, hey, it's in my new book, Gary. And I'm like, I don't have your new book because of the white and yellow thing. I literally told him this. And he goes, oh, he's sending me, he's having a book sent to me. So
yeah, he talks about it in here, the Bubba and stuff like that. And Rosie and stuff. It's a pretty good section.
He told me his exact words is that it's really ambitious what I'm doing with the history. And I told him, like, it's not going to be just me doing it. I'll be going to people. I'm taking one morph at a time, and I'm going to get it perfect. And then I'm going to move to the next morph, and it's going to be perfect. I'm going to move to the next morph. There's not many single morphs out there until you get to the line bred trait stuff. The line bred poly stuff, there's lots of stuff, but the pure recessive dominant and incomplete dominant, there's not much.
Now, this is going to be in more depth and more detail than even the Leopard Gecko Wiki thing.
Yeah, Leopard Gecko Wiki. The story on Leopard Gecko Wiki is this, and Thad of Ohio Gecko used to own Gecko or the GeckoForums.net and Leopard Gecko Wiki. Thad is now retired from breeding leopard geckos. Thad is an awesome guy. He's this awesome guy. He's a good friend. And I was going to buy Leopard Gecko Wiki, but the program that Leopard Gecko Wiki works on is free. It's a free program. And then the data on it isn't right. There's some wrong information on there. So I don't go through the genetics part, if they got the, prudent scare on there. I don't go through that stuff. There's some stuff on there that's wrong. I want the history. I want to tell people that The Tremper albino was 1998 when it was proved out. It was bred to this many animals, and this happened, and it was Ron Tremper that did it. And I want to get to the history of it, not just this is a Tremper albino. There you go. I want to show people the building blocks that was Leopard Geckos. That's what I want to show. And I'm hoping that the site grows so well that we can go into other species. And I think the other species that we need to go into right after Leopard Geckos, or if I can get a historian and I could add them, is Crested Geckos. I think Crested Geckos would be another huge thing. And the white and yellow is 100% dominant trait. 100%. Now there is a thing saying that it could be an incomplete dominant and that the super is a dead gene. I don't believe it. I honestly think it's a dominant trait. A lot of us back in the day chased it. So it's a dominant trait. It's not line bred at all. Where I think that Ron Tremper or whoever wrote that part of the book, which I think Ron Tremper wrote the whole book, I think. I'd have to ask him, is there's a lot of line breeding that goes on with white and yellow, but the actual base morph is a dominant trait. 100%. I bet my collection on it. The Tremper BAE, I have NDBE here, and I don't want to breed it. I have Eclipse. I don't have Marble Eye. Do I want to get BAE? Possibly, but it's tied to rainwater. Right now, it's tied to rainwater. So if I buy it, if you guys notice, the BAE has been dropping in price really quick. The reason it's been dropping in price really quick is it's being tied to rainwater, and rainwater is not popular. Rainwater is, you have to like rainwater to get into it. It's not like a Tremper. No, I don't think there's a super form at all. Of white and yellow, no. I don't think there's a super form at all. No. I think, now, in genetics, technically, if you have two copies of a dominant trait, you have yourself a super, which is a very common name for what we call. It'd be a two-copied animal. I don't think that can happen. Now, I had a talk with somebody, and I don't want to mention names. I had to talk with them, and I said, some things just doesn't happen when you breed animals and when you get into genetics, just like the Bell Patty. The Bell Patty should have been out long ago. It's happened, twice, 3 times? There's something genetically there that just doesn't allow them two genes to go into one animal. And when it does, it's another genetic mistake. And
you wonder if they're on the same, what is it? The same,
the Lily or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the same allele.
Allele. See, I'm really bad at pronouncing things, but I can read it and I can type it. Well, I could type it after I read it 10 times. But like I was talking to this person and he was like, things spontaneously just come out of the collections. And this person got a red stripe. And I'm like, that's not true. The reason that you got a red stripe is somewhere down the line, red stripe was in that animal. Like I can legit sell. I have a Bell that you look at it and it's not a red stripe. Miles has a red stripe that is its sister. That is insane. That Miles will tell you is like, this thing's an insane Bell red stripe. It's just like, oh my God. Its brother looks like a Bell albino. It will throw red stripes. The reason is it's line bred so deeply that you're going to get that, just like hypo and just like other things pop up now. We line bred all this so much. If I sell that animal, I can't sell it as a red stripe. I sell it as a Bell albino. Someone breeds it, they're going to get some red stripes out of it to some extent. Just hypo is the best one to say because hypo just pops out of everything. Everything gets hypo in it. And she's shaking again.
Dancing again.
So I tell people that, like when it comes to line bred traits and line bred things, you're going to get that popping out. Like tangerine. You could bring two non-tangerine animals right now, and you can get a tangerine animal of some extent. It might not be the brightest orange gecko, but you can get it. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Max Snows can throw tangerine.
Hmm.
You want to know why? Because someone bred a tangerine trying to make creamsicles, because creamsicles are cool, and creamsicle is just a tangerine Max Snow.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at a Max Snow, it's going to take all that color out. It's going to take it out. And when you breed it, it's going to have that color there still. It's going to have it there. So I was trying to explain that to him, and I don't know. Maybe he took it, maybe he didn't. I said my end result was when you start producing and when you start really producing, you'll start seeing this stuff. You'll start understanding it more. And like when people breed white and yellow, I guarantee, Andrew, you're gonna say, "Is this white and yellow?" You're gonna do.
I'm sure. Did you hear something?
Yeah, my alligator lizard is tearing up mealworms. I'm sitting there like looking at it. He's looking at me right now, like, "What are you doing down here right now?" But like seriously, but I told him, I'm like, white and yellow. The more you breed it, the more you can sell it. You can see it. You're like, "Yep, that's a white and yellow. This is not a white and yellow. That's a white and yellow. This is a white and yellow." And that's the best thing I can say is the more you breed it, the more you see it. And Matt told me that when I first got him, like my first 10 to 20 of them, I was like texting him like, "Dude, what is this?" Seriously, that's what I was doing. Like, but now Bell white and yellow, it was in my face. It's like, whoa, that's white and yellow. But when I was getting pure, like non-visual, it was just a white and yellow. I was like, "Is that white and yellow?" When I was getting the snow white and yellow, sometimes it wasn't. And I started slowly learning what this stuff is. That's the best I can tell people is the more you produce, the more you're going to get it. And you don't have to produce hundreds and hundreds of animals a year. You just got to work with a project for a while. You got to work with that project to start understanding it. Most people give up on projects after 1 or 2 years. And after the third or fourth year is when you're going to see your results.
Yeah. Now, and you know, a lot of people who first get into leopard geckos, the color change from when it's first hatched to when it starts getting some size on it can be very dramatic, and people don't realize.
You'll get a totally different gecko.
Yep.
Right. It's just, and you'll learn that. But now certain lines, when you're breeding it, you'll start being able to predict what it looks like. Because that was what you're working with every day, and you're seeing it grow. Like, I know what my tangerine rainwaters are going to look like. I know what they're going to look like. From female to males, I know what they look like. Until I inject another male in there, another female, I can predict. I know from my female 17 and my rainwater group, I'm probably going to hold back animals from her every year. Mm-hmm. She just throws amazing animals. So you start learning your animals. You start learning your stuff. How can I say? And learn best from experience. And you're right. Anyone can breed leopard geckos, guys. It's not hard. It's just not. It's just not. You take a male and a female, put them together, you get eggs. The ones that put time into it, the ones that stick with it, are the ones that are going to start being the genetic people that people are looking at and saying, "How do they do it?" We've done it. We've done it a long time. Like Ron Tremper might say that the white and yellow's line bred. But the man knows what he's talking about. He might be wrong on one thing. I'll be wrong on something, but Ron Tremper does know what he's doing. Mm-hmm. Ron Tremper laid a lot of groundwork for this hobby, just period. He's a very, very important part to this hobby. Tim Rainwater was important to this hobby, and the guy was a jerk. The Rainwater albino would not be around here.
No, but then you look at Ron Tremper. Of course, he knows he's been doing it since the 70s, and he just now recently retired. So he's got 50 years in. He knows what he's talking about.
That man probably could hatch a leopard gecko and go, "Yep, that's different." Seeing it hatch, you go, "Yep, that's different." I mean, he's just done it. Like Gourmet Rodent. I mean, I hate to bring up the lemon frost, but they knew it was different when it hatched out. They were like, "Whoa, this hatched out different," And that's how it happened. Like the Enigma, when Mark and Kim Bell produced it was different. And if you hear all these names, they're very large producers. I produce 1,500, 2,500 geckos. I'm not a large producer.
I think Gourmet Rodent, what are they, like 30,000?
Yeah, easy.
They produce they're like 500 eggs a day hatch from them people. But then
Yeah.
they all go to PetSmart and Petco and stuff like that.
Mark and
they
Kim
don't-
Bell does the same thing. I don't know how heavy Mark and Kim Bell's in it anymore, but I'm sure they still produce stuff. But yeah, it's just that's where these things are coming from. They're popping out of these big things. And to give an example, another example, why do you think Kevin McCurley's so good? He breeds them and he's involved. Why do you think Brian Barczyk knows ball pythons? He breeds them, he's involved. You know, he's involved with them ball pythons. That's his baby.
But that's like Ralph Davis with ball pythons too.
Ralph Davis.
Hands-on. You know, he only had a couple people work for him, but he did everything. He took care of the whole thing.
To tell you the truth, we need more Ralph Davises.
Absolutely. He was so passionate about what he did. I don't know. He just kind of retired from it all. So,
well, I get why some people get burnt. I mean, I get burnt, but I kind of say it behind the scenes. I say it to my friends. But it's just like sometimes I throw my hands up in the air and I'm like, I'm going down this path and I'm trying to get these people to understand the histories and the genetics and all this. And then all it takes, I keep telling everyone this, if you got a 50-gallon drum of really clean water, it only takes one jerk to squirt a little bit of mud in there to dirty it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I get so passionate. I get upset, you know, and Matt does the same thing. You know, he's so passionate and that's why he gets mad at certain things is he's so passionate about cleaning up in the history and the Evans and the Wallies and the Miles and, you know, Steve Sykes to an extent because Steve Sykes is producing pure macularis and, genetics mean a lot and they should mean a lot in everything.
mm-hmm.
Because I mean, let's take Scalus. Scalus is a big one for me. Let's say I didn't believe in Scalus. Me personally, I didn't believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought animals off somebody and they just didn't tell me the hets. And I had Scalus. And I got Scalus in a project let's say I just got a male that was 100% het Scalus and I didn't know it. I bought it because it was a plasma because I like plasma. And I bred it to other animals and I started doing it. And 3 years down the road, I started hatching Scalus. It would ruin my whole project.
Mm-hmm.
My whole project because I don't like it.
Now, see, I understand exactly what you're saying, and it's kind of strange how this works. You see how that works? That like the hidden genes in leopard geckos, people don't like that. They like to know exactly what's in it. But now you get over to the bull snakes, Pituophis, and people are excited to breed them because you never know what's popping out because they're het for everything. Somebody's like, oh, I hatched this clutch of 20 eggs. 5 of them are white-sided. 5 of them are albino. 2 of them are hypos.
The craziest people I've ever met in my whole career in animals is gray banded king snake people. They're insane.
Well, there's strictly, you got to stay perfect lineage. You got to.
And we're talking like a road. A road will divide. You cannot breed. Yeah, you can't breed this side of the road to that side of the road. And I'm not joking. Literally a road.
Yep. And like Road 103 to Road 104. What are you crazy, man? Yeah, and they're right next to each other. And you're like, well, I didn't know that.
And I'm going to tell you guys this now. Leopard gecko people were not this genetically freakish until later, because I remember when I was coming up, I'm not going to say the people, they were trying to breed all 3 albinos together to see what happened. Just to see what happened. I mean, literally, they're going to breed. Now, they're not going to sell them. This person would never do that. But they were like, let's see what happens when all 3 genetics line up. I would go, how would you know? When they are? How would you know?
Now, see, that's to a point. If you bred back then, if you had 2 of the albinos, or you bred 3 of the albinos, or you bred them together, and 2 of them made albinos right away, you know that them 2 are in the same allele and it works.
Yep.
So they're the same thing.
Yep.
Let's say the Tremper and the Rainwater produced the same, they don't.
And they had to be tested. They had to be tested when they came in. They had to be. Just like the albino ball python was tested to the lavender, at one time. And it's just how I tell people, if we don't care about the genetics, at some point, someone's going to say, I just want an eclipse, and they're not going to be there anymore. It's just not going to be there because we bred Marble Eyes and, BAEs and all this stuff to it. And it just doesn't matter. So someone says, I want to do that awesome firewater project. You see them tangerine rainwater? I want those. They're not going to be there. And genetics are just a very important thing. I cringe. I like literally sit here sometimes. I'm like, oh my, just really. And I'll tell people this now. I have people I won't sell to. I don't care if they offer me $10,000 for $1,000 gecko. I won't sell to them.
Yeah, you were telling me that the other day.
Money doesn't mean nothing to me.
And you wouldn't buy from them people
Nope.
either. If they even had something that you really wanted, you wouldn't buy it from them specifically because of you can't be sure what's in it.
Yep, I can't be like if I go to Miles will give me a rundown of everything that animal has. Just like if he buys an animal off me, I do the same thing to him. I'm like, I did this, and I feel this, but here's all the info, all of it, so you know what I know. And that's what I do. And Miles does it to me, and Wally does that to me. And my buddy Casey, when I bought some fan foots off him, he came over and gave me all the info he had on them fan foots. I was like, I appreciate that. And like my buddy Red, he does the same thing. And if you care about something, you put your mind and heart and soul into it. And you want to know the history, the natural history. You want to know all that. And it's a very important part. It just is. And the people that just throw their hands up and say, well, I'm new, I don't care, it doesn't matter, we're going forward now. You can't go forward on the road without the people that paved it.
Yeah. Especially if it's gray banded road territory.
Oh, geez. Gray banded. Another one until recently, carpet pythons used to be.
Oh, they used to be. Well, see, now you can't get, like, it's hard to get a pure diamond.
Yeah, try to get a pure jungle.
I know Tom Crutchfield has some pure diamonds. I know at least he did. I don't know if he did, if he sold them off or not.
But they're not there anymore. The stuff that we have is so mixed up and muddied up. It's just.
I was listening to a carpet python person from Australia, and their name is Gotta Love Carpet Pythons. I don't know if you ever seen her videos, and her name is Gay. And she was talking that she noticed, this is something that she's noticed, she noticed the carpet pythons over there, which are the pure line, are way bigger than the carpet pythons we have over here. The carpet pythons we over here, she says, are kind of like, they're like runts compared to what they have over there.
Well, the IJs and stuff like that, people bred the morphs and try to get the looks. Because the central carpet, is it the central? I forget the scientific name, is the largest. And the BAE came out, 3 years ago? I think he had it 4 years ago, but he proved it out 2 years ago. Yeah. So, but the carpet python was a big one. What's another? Retics.
Oh, with the super dwarfs and stuff. They get crazy about that. Now they get crazy about it because it's hard to get pure locales that don't have mainland in it, because the mainland is what gives it the albinos and because the pure forms of the islands don't have none of them morphs in it. So
that's another thing. And someone just said that was Josh just said that the BAE was released last year, so 2020. But I know that he was talking about certain things, and he sent some people a picture of it. I was lucky enough to be on that list, and I seen it, but he didn't say what it was. He was like, "Hey, check this out." John Scarborough just posted on Exclusive Geckos, and I believe he posted on Gecko Boa, posted a really weird eye. And it's like its siblings have it. It's just really weird. I've never seen nothing like it. So, but another one is locality boas. BCI. Your Sonoran boas, your Central American boas, your Nicaraguan boas, your red tail boas from here, the regular Colombians, they're all BCI.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you this right now, there is a total difference between a Sonoran boa and a Colombian boa.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Nicaraguan.
Even the size and
Mhm.
the color too.
Yeah, and Nicaraguan boas. I love pure Nicaraguan boas 100%.
Mhm.
A pure Nicaraguan will not get as big as a Colombian. It just won't happen.
And just like they won't get as big as like a Suriname red-tailed boa, which is your, they get big, and it's crazy. And people don't realize it.
The BCC
BCCs.
lines usually get bigger, and then you got
Mhm.
BCO.
Yeah, they get bigger. Yeah.
So
Well, they get big like that. I mean,
so I mean, there's a lot of different locality stuff that could it be separated in different species? Probably, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a taxonomist. Is that what they call it? But I don't know what they call it.
taxonomist. Yeah.
I don't know.
Wally,
Maybe
are
that's
you
a
still
double word.
in
I
here?
don't know. But I'm not that type of person that can say this is a different species, but I do know there's a difference. Let's see. Yeah, I can't wait. Oh, the BAE. My opinion on the BAE, 100%. My opinion, it is different. It's a different eye, 100%. It's awesome. We will not know what it does to Bell. We will not know what it does to Tremper yet. We got to breed the rainwater out of it, which I think has already started. I don't know if I want to work with it. It's just another thing that I would have to reverse engineer, and I'd have to give rack space to. So, I mean, to get it into Bell, I mean, this is a perfect example. To get that into Bell and get it into Tremper, you have to reverse engineer it and get it out of rainwater. You have to.
No, to reverse engineer something, how much rack space does that take up? Like, how many do you have to really be working something out of something? Just even if it's just like a 2-gene thing.
I have 4 tubs with identical gene animals with 3 females in each tub for each project. So I have 2 full racks full of reverse engineering animals. Okay. And if I gave it more space, I'd probably do it faster. I just don't have the space. And usually them are my reverse engineering stuff. I know the genetics in them. I know them. So I'll sell some of them. Like this is a 66% hat. These are 33% hats. These are 50% hats and blah, 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 blah. I can run down the whole thing. And I'll sell them. And that's how I usually get the wild type stuff. You guys start seeing wild type stuff on tables. That's usually what they're from. Like I got wild type het radars this year. I got wild types. That is the reverse engineer to get the Bell out of everything. Because I just want Bell albinos. I want just Tremper albinos. I just want tangerines. Literally line bred, just tangerines.
Yeah. Now here's a question for you and Wally, because I see Wally still in here.
Taxonomist. I can't pronounce it. Whatever.
Taxonomist or taxonomist, whatever. Now with the Peridor picta, I don't know how much you know about them, but I know there's a few color changes, and I know there's banded and striped. How serious do those breeders get? Like Wally, I know you breed them. If you were to breed like what is it? They got the T positive or T negative albinos to something else, or how serious do they get about mixing the striped with the banded and stuff like that? Do they get all crazy like they do like in the gray bandeds or the leopard geckos or anything like that?
I don't think there's enough Picta gecko breeders out there.
Huh?
I don't know if there's enough Picta gecko people out there to get notes, because I know there's a kid that's here in Wisconsin. His name's Brandon. He's really taken into the Picta geckos, and he's really excited about it. And I know it's Wally that got him excited about it. He loves.
Well, Wally's got me excited about Picta geckos.
And I'm not sure if they're genetic freakish like leopard gecko people, because I'm a genetic freakish person. I have to have it pure, but I take that into everything I do. Like I
was just going to ask you that. Do you take that into everything that you do, or is it just with the leopard geckos?
Like if my alligator lizards, I will only breed with that, and I won't try to mix species. I don't like crossing species. To give you guys how bad it is. Okay. I gotta put this dog out.
I'm listening to you.
All right, no worries. I was at a venomous show, and someone had Western Diamondback and Mojave crosses. I didn't want them out. I bought them all. That's how crazy I am. Like insane I am. And I had every single one of them Western Mojaves in my collection for a long time, and that's what I just took them all. Like the Gaboon and Rhino Viper crosses. I got a friend that does it. His name's Greg Madden. He wrote the article in Reptile Magazine. He does the Gaboon Rhino cross. I don't believe in it. I won't do it. Now that cross. Now his defense will be that cross happens in the wild. Fair enough. I wouldn't do it because the reason I say this is at some point in captivity we're not going to take from the wild anymore. What's our genetics going to be like in the captivity if we just keep mixing everything up?
Now you're into corn snakes, or you're not big.
I'm getting into them. I don't know how big I'm going to get. I probably want like 50 females.
Now, how do you feel about certain things in the corn snakes? Because some of them corn snake morphs, and some of them corn snakes, like the scaleless and stuff like that, come from different species of rat snakes that they had to breed into them to get that in there, and then they took it into that and just.
I don't know if I like that at all. I don't know if I like scaleless at all. Now, I have held scaleless. I've held Texas rat snakes and the ball pythons and the corn snakes, and I know they can live. I get it. I don't know if I like it though, because I mean, if we do a color morph, we're not altering the physical part. We are, but we're not taking something off. We're not like, hey, let's take this arm off this or take the scales off it. It reminds me of the no-eye albino Burmese pythons.
I remember those. Yes, I do.
A lot
of people don't, but I do remember those.
I just remember those. When someone says scaleless, oh, this is scaleless corn, I'm like, it's almost like, oh, wow, the no-eye or one-eye albino or Burmese pythons. That's what it reminds me of. I'm like,
I remember when people first started producing the no-eyes, and they actually thought that was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And they produced them, and they were trying to sell them. Yeah, special's got no eyes.
And
what?
The bearded dragons have
I thought that was crazy.
Silkies or whatever they're called. And they don't do very well. And
see that they have to be. It puts the lotion on its back.
Yeah. So I'm looking at these, and I'm at a point in my life where, yes, I breed morphs. I breed these leopard geckos, but I'm getting more enjoyment out of my pure animals that come out of the wild that way.
Yes,
round
they
hand,
had no eyes.
Wet, doing water changes. Oh, he's still around.
Yeah, they had no eyes at all.
Yeah, the Burmese pythons. I'll give you a story. I used to do the Columbus Reptile Show when I was about 16 years old. I started, and when I was about 18, I'm 42 years old now. Mark and Kim Bell used to be in Michigan. Okay, they weren't in Florida. They were in Michigan. They did the Ohio Columbus Show. Don Hamper ran it with Robbie. So there was a person I used to go to the show with, and he would buy all the one-eye and no-eye Burmese pythons. And once in a great while, you would get a normal-looking one, but most of them were albino. And Mark and Kimbo were so cool. I was like, I really want a Burmese. And I'm looking through these one-eyes just to try to get one that, kind of looked okay. And Mark and Kimbo was like, Gary, no, come here. And they would just give me a Burmese python. It's like, take this albino. And that's where I got my first albino Burmese python, Mark and Kim Bell. Well, Kim gave it to me. I remember these things like it was yesterday. And I'm looking at it, it's like, do you ever hear someone say history repeats itself?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm seeing. I won't touch it. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's next? And I know this is extreme, but are we going to have no shell tortoises? And that's what I get at. I mean, or soft shells, or
you talk about it like that, or it gets to hose again. That's what I was going to say, but I didn't want to say it gets to hose again.
Yeah, the no eyes was a recessive thing. I almost guarantee it. The no eye thing was a recessive.
But you don't think about it until somebody says something like, "We're going to have no shell tortoises." I mean, then you start thinking, "Wait a minute, there is something wrong with it." Now. I do think that the albino gene does cause, because every albino gene that's out there, I don't know about leopard geckos or nothing, but with snakes, there's a lot. It messes with the eyes on a lot of things. You get some that have no eyes, some that have born with one eye, or some that have tiny eyes. I don't know if you've ever seen those too.
Well,
but not just in the berms. I'm talking ball pythons. A lot of ball pythons that are albino are born with no eyes or with one eye or small eyes or,
bug eyes.
Yeah. Bug eyes are really big in the Texas rat snakes that are
silky
albino
tortoises.
Texas rats. Silky tortoises.
See, that's the thing. I honestly think that every genetic flaw has a flaw. It does. Like,
well,
albinos,
it is a flaw to begin with.
Like Tremper albinos and Bell albinos tend to close their eyes when light. Now, the ones that don't seem to be rainwater. I don't know why. Rainwater albino it doesn't hurt their eyes as much. Maybe, I don't know. But like a radar, if I take a radar, it's almost impossible for me to get a nice shot of their eyes because I have to turn off the lights.
That radar I got yesterday, I know I couldn't even get a picture of it with its eyes open. They were like closed.
Yeah,
tried to hide in its head.
When it gets older, when they get adult, it tends to go away. I don't know if they just get used to the pain. I don't know what it is, but they tend to go away when they get older. But then here's another big thing that people don't like. When you breed a lot, you're going to see this. When you're producing tons of stuff, you're going to see no eyes and no feet and tailless leopard geckos. There's a person that's producing tailless leopard geckos. There was curly tail leopard geckos at one time.
They still produce the curly tail. I see it. I can't remember who it was talking to head him up, and they're like, "This is really cool. It's got the little curly tail." It's in the book. That's what it is.
Yep. And there is a scaleless leopard gecko too.
Yeah, and that's in the book. Yep, and that's in the book too. The scaleless is in the book too.
The curly tails, I remember David Fine Geckos was a person that was breeding them back in the day. He was like taking over the project. And what I used to tell people is most breeders, the unethical ones, when they had a curly tail, they would pop the tail off. Then it was gone. It didn't have an issue no more. Because if they were producing a $500 gecko and a curly tail, they just pop it off. Seriously, that's because I'm going to be honest. Do you know how many tailless or regrown tails I have in my collection? Maybe 20, if that.
Yeah,
if that. And usually, do you know what it's from? Females beating up males, and they drop their tail. That's usually what it's from.
I love watching videos with Ron Tremper because he was being interviewed by somebody. They're like, "Aren't you worried about the tails falling off?" He's like, "No." He goes, "It's not as much as it doesn't happen as much as you think it does. It's not like a crested gecko." I mean,
people will flip out when they see my videos. They're going to see I usually transfer geckos by picking up by their tail. It doesn't harm them. I literally just pick up their tail and put them where I need them to put, and they're fine. 100%, and you'll be like, "What?" And I'll pick up the gecko, and they'll sit there. They will not, just because you touch their tail does not mean they're going to drop it. A gecko has to be scared to drop it. So you could touch their feet, and they get scared, they'll drop their tail. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with grabbing their tail. I don't know who started that rumor. I don't know where that came from.
Now the crested geckos, they drop their tail pretty easy compared to.
I don't. My babies don't drop them as fast, but I had an adult like maybe 2 months ago. I literally just opened it and started spraying him, and he dropped his tail like in front of me. I'm like, "What
the heck happened there?" I know a big breeder. I can't remember who it was having work done to their house, and they were outside the room where the geckos were on the outside of the house, and they were putting up barge board, and they used a nail gun. And they shot 2 nails in, and she said she ran into the room to see what the noise was, and she looked. It was a woman, I think, and it was like out of her. I don't know. She went through the cages, and she had like 20 tails laying on the bottom of the cage just from the nail gun going off.
It's just and I think the more we breed crested geckos, it might go away. I'm not sure. I know I rarely see. Like all the young geckos I see at shows, they have their tail. It's usually old breeders, Well, I don't know. What
I was thinking, this is just a theory. I don't know what you think about this. And the reason that they lose them so easy is I think they use them more when they're little. Because if you look at the tail of a crested gecko, it's kind of like the foot pad. It's got stickiness on it, and they use a prehensile when they're little. And as they get bigger, I don't know if they need the tail as much anymore to keep them, to help them.
And then they just drop it, and
it's easier for them to drop it,
And I think a lot of geckos are that way. Like even the alligator lizards, she's still sitting here. She's digging. She's actually out. My female scravid is out, so maybe she's gonna have babies. It's a little early yet, but they use their tails and they'll drop them, but they use their tails. It's really weird
because you look at the reason I don't think that they need them as much is because they don't regrow them. A leopard gecko will grow its tail back, and I seen an actual video of a guy who put his tegu in a tub and it dropped a tail.
Yep.
And it looked just like a leopard gecko tail, little stars,
little muscles.
Yeah. And it grew it back, but
it's that black color. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, that's why I try to tell people at shows, because they'll see what I'm doing, and like someone said, they check for ovulation that way. My geckos, I don't think I've ever taken a gecko to a show that wasn't a retired breeder that didn't have a tail. I'm like, from the get-go, I'll move baby geckos. I won't pick a baby gecko up by the tail, but I'll touch their tail. They won't drop them. And I try to do the same routine with every single gecko. I pick them up, I put them in their new tub, and I let them go. And once they get to 15 grams, that's when I start trying to look at stuff. So I try to keep them going the same routine so they know what's going to go on. But geckos aren't as delicate as people say. I mean,
no.
Leopard geckos are. It takes talent to kill a leopard gecko. I mean, it's not a good talent, but it takes talent to kill a leopard gecko.
I would think so, because I've seen some pretty horrendous pictures online, and then ones still make it.
Yeah, I've had geckos where they've come into me and people give them to me to rescue, and I'm like, oh wow, I give them water and food, and they're fine. They'll start pouncing back. They're like, oh yay. It's just it takes a lot to kill a gecko. Now, I don't know. Like I tell people, you got to like what you're going to get. Don't get leopard geckos because everyone else is doing it. Like leopard geckos, get the ones you want because you'll care for them. You'll want to go and care for them. You're going to want to. Like my helmeted gecko. I love my helmeted gecko. I mean, I'm like literally, I love that little gecko. And I check on him every day, no matter what. I will come down here at night. I will come down here in the morning. I will check on him. That's one of my favorite geckos I own. Now, do I check every single one of my leopard geckos? I can't do it. But I'll sit there and I'll just pull tubs out. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy working with animals. So if you don't like doing water changes and you don't like doing scrubbing of algae, you don't want turtles.
I love my turtle.
Yeah, turtles are amazing. I should show you. I got a Diamondback Terrapin.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yep.
Do you have problems with that? Because sometimes the brackish water thing would get me, I think.
Nope. This thing's a brick. We do the brackish. It's a brick house. It's an eating machine. It wants to eat all the time. The brackish water doesn't hurt me. I just put salt in it and let it go, and then it evaporates out. And then I just add water. Everyone's like, "Why don't you add more salt?" Salt doesn't evaporate, so we just add more
water.
Yeah, I just add more water to the line. Then when we do a water change, we add more salt to it. It doesn't take much either.
I know my snapping turtle I got December 24th was the size of a quarter. No joke. And it's like that big now. It's like
they get big fast. And this is a good one. I like this. I paused the other day and realized I love frogs and toads too, apart from leopard geckos, and I can't wait to start a couple frogs and toad projects. I'm telling you, this is something else people don't know. I think Wally does. I think Andrew does. I have dart frogs. And I have dart frogs. I breed them. I was just talking to my friend Nico, and just like Wally does, he got on me because I don't bring the dart frogs babies here. I went to him like, hey, I'll just give you the babies. I just like playing with the frogs, and you can sell them for whatever you want. And he goes, no, bring them and be another, because he's the only dart frog breeder there. He goes, it give diversity and people will get excited. And so I'm going to start bringing dart frogs to shows possibly. I'm going to end up needing like 4 tables if I start bringing everything.
Dart frogs are cool. And I always thought, hey, I would love to have dart frogs, but the chirping would get to me a little bit.
I love the chirping of the dart frogs. It's like a little chirp. It's not loud. It's like a little.
Well, it really wouldn't bother me, but it would bother everybody else.
Yeah. I don't know the names. That's my problem. I got to start working on scientific names. So for like the frogs, it's going to be easier to know the scientific names. But I got the blue and yellow ones, the big ones. I got giant oranges, and I got the little red ones with green lines on them, and I forget the name of them. And Nico always tells me, but I got tons of those. I mean, they take care of their babies. They take care of them. They like feed their babies.
Huh.
It's great. So I got dart frogs. There's stuff in. When I start doing YouTube, you guys are gonna be like, "Whoa, he's got that!" Like I got a 5-6 foot Nile monitor. And he's my boy. I'm gonna feed him after the show tonight. I got tortoises. I got sulcata tortoises that are. I think we just weighed her, and she was like 10, 12 pounds. We got her at 6 years old, and she was 4 pounds.
Yeah,
it was a rescue. Now she's like 12 pounds. She's an eating machine. What else? I don't know what else I got. I got cockatoo. You guys hear the cockatoo all the time.
Yeah, I think that's cool. That's not a golfing cockatoo though, is it?
No, it's a Moluccan. It's the big boy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I often say tortoises would be cool, but because of where I live, it's hard for me to keep something like that because of the room that it would need to.
That's what we talk
meander.
about.
If I had a big building, I mean, I got the house next door, but if I had a big, huge facility building, would be one thing because then I could have a whole section just for.
That's what we were talking about. My wife and I are just again. If we get a building, then we don't have to worry about it. We don't leave her outside. We take her outside, but we don't leave her outside. And then she sits inside. Right now, she is literally in a bunk bed frame that I brought down in the. It's like this high. She can't get out of it. It's just open. And I got little heat lamps all over for her. And literally when you go up to her, she'll walk up to the edge looking at you like this. So just look up like, hi. And my Nile monitor sits above her. That's where my Nile's at.
I know my snapping turtle, as soon as I go in the room, runs right over to the edge of the cage and he stretches his neck up and looks at me. I could scratch him under the neck. He loves it. It's great.
I just want to get a place where I can put all this up because right now it's like I got animals in this room, I got animals in the gecko room in another room, and I got animals upstairs. And
what you got to do is have cameras on them all, and then you could just walk from camera to camera and be like, yeah.
Wally's being inspirational to me because of his channel, and I used to do it. I just don't know why. I can't explain it. Like I can film now a whole thing, and I edit it, and I won't hit post. I won't upload
it. And you don't have any idea why? Is it like a fear that somebody's going to say something bad, or
no?
You don't think you did a good enough job, or what? Because I know Wally now. And I'm sure he's still listening. I talk to him about his videos all the time, and he's like, "Yeah," he goes, "I put them up, but sometimes I feel like like not that he shouldn't put them up. It's just he beats himself up over it. Like I don't think I did a good job with that." And I say, Wally, that's the best video I've ever seen.
It's not that I could care less, and not that I don't care about you guys listening. I could care less who says what. But I'm afraid that if I say something and I go against one of my friends, that they're gonna not be my friend anymore. I've lost friends.
See that? No, I see what you're saying.
And I would rather just be quiet, not say nothing, and keep my friends. And because people know I used to be really good friends with Brian Barczyk. There's a few reasons why he probably hates me, but I called him out in public about a YouTube video, and I feel my opinion. He no longer talks to me now. Some people are going to say Brian Barczyk sucks. I know him personally. He's a good guy. He loves his animals. I don't care what anyone says. I could bash him probably more than anyone else out there right now because I know him personally. I know what he's done. I won't do it. I just won't do it. He's a good guy.
But here's what I would hope. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If I do something on a video or something and you disagree with me, I would want you to call me out on it immediately so I can correct the situation.
Yeah,
And I would never get upset at that. And I'd same with Wally. I'd want Wally to do the same thing.
Wally's told me this too, and it's happened. So I get worried about it. Like, if it wasn't for you, like, okay, ready for this? I've had the radio thing and I've tried it so many times. And I guarantee people get mad at me because I'm like, I'm going to do it now and I don't do it. I'm going to do it now and I don't do it. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd have probably done it like once or twice and I would have gave up. Now with TRR, it was like, I did it. Now it's up and now it's going. And it's not me. It's just like, okay, guys, there it is. To go have fun. And the gecko history, I don't have my name on it. I use the word historian. For everyone that's going to be posted on it, it's just going to say historian. I don't want me being the one that says, hey, look what Gary did. I just want people to have it. My YouTube was very big. And to give you an example, I don't know if you guys remember this. There used to be a guy that went by the name Muff Daddy.
I remember Muff Daddy
and Mike. Okay, Mike. And Mike and I used to talk a lot. Like, Mike's passed away. Mike had a heart attack a long time ago. But I used to talk to Mike a lot, and I knew them before they got venomous snakes. And I used to try to guide them the right way. But Muff, his name was, gosh dang it, I can't think of his name.
I just know him as Muff Daddy.
Yeah, Muff Daddy.
He was the crazy one of the bunch.
And I would try to talk to him, and they would do exactly against me. And then when I did a video, they would start attacking me. And then Mike stopped talking to me. And I was like, well, I didn't really have a friendship with Muff Daddy, but I had a friendship with this Mike guy. And he was getting into venomous. And I was like, oh, because I was a big venomous guy back then. I was like a real big venomous guy. And I was like trying to get him to do it right. And I lost that. And literally, I was doing herp radio at the time. And I was really big on YouTube. He started this little war. And I didn't like doing it. So I stopped doing videos for like a month. I was like, whatever, I'm done. And I don't like the drama part of it. I don't like it. I hate it. I hate the drama.
Yeah. But like Wally said here, that me and Youper had an argument once, but you know what? You talk about it and you get through it. That's what real friends do.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Like, I'm lucky enough to have you. I talked to Miles. I talked to Wally. I mean, there's a group with a bunch of other people. There's a little chat. And I'll put stuff in there because I don't want it to be public. Like, I don't want it to be public. Mindy Young just posted, I do that too, although I won't post mine either. Stays private, so only my eyes can see, only on YouTube. It's understandable, and I love Brian Barczyk. I don't know him, and Lori personally like you, but I can relate to... Yeah, Brian does a lot wrong. Don't get me wrong.
I think everybody does, though, don't they?
Yeah.
Good point.
The reason you see it is he puts his life online.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see it. And maybe I didn't handle myself right with him. And maybe I did. I don't know. In the reptile community, I let's talk about this one. Let's see this one. Whoops. I went backwards. I want this one. I went down wrong screen. Being really toxic. People are toxic, not the reptile community.
And I think it's more younger people.
Not really. I mean, you're right. You're right. But there are some veterans that don't open up their eyes either. I was talking to a new gecko breeder. I was talking to him, and he kept saying that I felt I was elite to him. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to tell you where these people are coming from, so maybe you can change because you could reach so many more people. And I kept telling them that it's not me, it's the community. You can do what you want, but there's going to be repercussions. You know,
and then group rules, mob rules. Take the BLBC, for instance. When they started something on somebody, it doesn't matter if it was wrong or not. Mob rules.
And I'll be the first to tell you, I got people that's come to me and says, hey, guess what? We're going to do this because you don't believe in it, Gary. We're going to go back you up. And I say, don't talk. Don't cause problems. Let it go. I'll say it in a heartbeat. I said, don't. Like Kevin McCurley and that new prejudiced group, there's more fighting there, and Kevin hates it. he's hating that he has a group that has more fighting in it than it does supporting U.S. art.
Yes, Wally.
All right, good one off social media today. Speaking of backing away from drama, yes, we do.
Did I tell you what happened to me the other day?
No.
Gary.
No, what's
Okay,
up?
I posted a picture of my gecko, my crested gecko, and I says, because I don't know where Becky got it from, and it was never told us what it was. I said, does anybody know what like morph this is, or what traits it has in it and stuff like that? And do you know if they took it down? Got to have it for 90 days before you could post up in here, so we know that you're not going to be a flipper. I'm like, what? I was around when the term flipper was coined.
Ready for this? The flipper thing. Everyone asks me if I'm a flipper, and I tell people I like selling what I produce only. Now, because I produce a lot. But there's nothing wrong with flippers. Flippers are what keep the market strong. Because guess what? If I have 500 leopard geckos that I got to move because I need money right now, I could go ahead and crash the market, or I could sell to a flipper to keep the market strong.
And the flipper keeps the prices up.
Yeah, they keep the prices up. Or I could have sold, let's say, 1,000 geckos this year to people building their projects, and then I'm like, oh, whoa, I have to pay my house off tomorrow. Or whatever, a bill comes up, and I could take 500 geckos and I could crash the market and say, Black Knights, $200. Here's the darkest Black Knights there is. Guys, I'm telling you. Here's the darkest Black Knights, $200. They're the darkest ones out in the market. Here's radars, $25.
People would take it up, yep.
And I'm telling you, you guys think, I'll buy them up. I have another 500 sitting right behind it. Let's do it again. And I could do that. That's why flippers were so important. Another person said that they would die if fed insects from said, what would that? Oh, wait. I missed it. Facebook group, new user. My Cresty will not eat the Crested Gecko diet. People said stop feeding insects as they are not nutritious. I posted that correctly supplement they are. Oh, geez. Do you know what? I think I know what you're talking about, because someone actually messaged me, was it yesterday, and asked me if Crested Geckos could eat insects. And I'm like, you don't have to do it. You could feed them just a Crested Gecko diet. But if you supplement them and, calcium and all that, they're good. And if you gut load them, they're great. And I don't know. They left. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think I heard something about that too. It's kind of funny, and I don't know. But like the other day, there was somebody on there who posted, was asking about putting isopods with their Crested Geckos or something like that. And I says the person that would probably know the answer would be Wally, because he has them both. And I put Wally Kern's name in there. I tagged him in it. I don't know if that upset him. I hope that didn't upset him, because, after I did it, I'm thinking, well, maybe Wally's going to sit there and these guys are going to jump all over him.
Yeah, they do, but we walk away. And the big name breeders, one, social media isn't big for some of us. Like the Ron Trempers, he got into it a little bit and stuff. But it's the social media is, once you get on social media, everyone tears everything apart.
Wally, that is the best saying ever.
Yeah, that's it. Boom. Right there. Oh, my Lord. That is perfect.
That's it.
And I always bring that up too. While he's saying, he's had to hear me say, and I've heard him say it. When someone says you have to do it this way, or this is what I love. This is the one I love more than anything. When someone says your animal is in too big of a cage, you got to put it in a smaller cage to get it to eat. I correct them. You don't have enough hides in the cage. You don't have enough, it's just an open cage. If you put hides in it, it's not going to care if it's in a 10 by 10 room or a small 10-gallon tank. It's going to be inside that little hide box and hiding. It doesn't care anything else.
Well, that's what I say to people. And they're like, well, I've had this argument before. And they're like, well, you got it too big of a cage. And I'm like, well, it's not as big as nature.
Yeah.
You go out there in that wild, man, you ain't touching a cage that big.
And I try to tell people, and we see that with the reticulated python.
That's it, Wally, right there too. I didn't mean to cut you off. That's one, Wally.
Yeah, if I post something on Facebook, do you know how many people argue me? And I don't even respond back. I rarely respond back. If someone says, "Hey Gary, what's this?" I say, "This is what it is." Someone goes, "Well, how do you know?" I'm tired of posting. Do you know how many geckos I produce? Do you know how long I've been doing this? You're learning from my mistakes, and they just don't get it sometimes. People also sometimes expect an animal to eat right after making a huge change and don't give them time to. And, oh, that's perfect. That is too. Josh put that up. 100%. Like I'll tell you guys, my Cayman lizard spent 3 nights in Memphis. We named him Memphis. That's my Cayman lizard's name now. And when he got here, I set him up in a very basic cage, a very basic, nice and warm, hot spot. But I did offer him food. Did I expect him to eat today? Ain't happening. And I told Snakes at Sunset, I was like, it's perfectly fine. He's feisty. He's going to eat. He's fine.
Smart move, Wally, because I do the same thing. Now,
and
I used
that's
to argue it. I don't know more.
I'm right there with Wally. It's just people try to push back. I mean, and they do it in chat too. Like, I don't know if Wally gets this in messages. They'll message me a question. I'll answer it. And it takes a lot for me to answer messages. I don't know if you I get a lot of messages during the day.
I'm sure you do.
So when I message Wally, I don't expect him to respond right back to
I don't
me.
either.
I'm like, man, whatever. If he gets to it, he gets to it, whatever. And if I take the time to respond to someone, they'll argue me about it. And I'm like, oh, why'd you ask me?
I mean, when I message Wally, if he doesn't get back to me right away, I could be just an ass and keep putting little question marks, cling, 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 all day long until he answers me back. Like, no, but I would never do that.
Like with the Cayman lizard, I was getting more messages because there was people trying to help me. My friend Sarah was helping me. I had a friend Greg trying to help me. I was trying to get someone that was close to Memphis to like go to Memphis to hub. I was trying to get that to happen, and everyone was trying to calm me down, and they were in messages and I literally was sitting in front of a computer just answering people's stuff to keep my mind busy. And
yeah, I thought I was bothering you with stuff.
No,
yesterday. Like,
it was helping me because I got an anxiety issue, but I don't lean on it. It's just like if there's a big problem, I sit on it, and I don't know how to explain it other than I don't think I got time. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like, I don't have enough time to do this. It could really take me a half hour and I got 3 hours until I got to get to work, but I'll think about this half-hour job forever.
Wow,
and instead of just getting it done. You know, let's see. You know, the next time I ask you a question, Andrew, you get 1 minute or else you get the question right. I love it. I'm like, hold on to it.
That's like my crested gecko. I named him Orange because Wally said,
I like it.
Well, no, Wally said name him Orange because Orange, you glad Becky let you get a gecko or got you a gecko?
There it is.
So I named it Orange, and it's orange. But he sat in there a day and wouldn't eat nothing, didn't even look at nothing, kind of curled up. So I kind of put a little bit of the crested gecko diet on a stick and put it by his face, and he started eating off, and now he's running all over the cage and he's relaxed. And
I remember the very first time I had animals, and some of the first, like after I bred the corn snakes, I bred some corn snakes, I got some jungles, started getting Burmese pythons. Like I got that albino and I got 2 normals. And I was going to breed Burmese pythons. I couldn't get one to eat anything but chicken legs. Seriously, like actual chicken legs. Mm-hmm. I was calling Mark up. I'm like, dude, this thing, he goes, it's eating chicken legs. Let it eat chicken legs, Gary. That's what he would tell me. I was like, well, I don't want to feed it chicken legs. Can it eat rabbits now or what? It would eat chicken legs. It's just crazy stuff. I mean,
one thing I've learned about snakes, because I used to do strictly snakes, is when you first get a snake, and this is, I tell people this too, but they don't like to listen to you because when they get a snake, they want to see it eat. Like now they want to see it wrap up something. Leave it sit a week and a half before you feed. Just put water in there. It don't need to eat right away. Put a hide in there. Let it get used to its environment because, you know, snakes are kind of funny. You could take them, and if it could take them a week. And if you start trying to force it to eat and it won't eat, you can make it go months without eating. So the whole thing I will not feed a snake for 1 to 2 weeks after I get it. I let it relax. I let it acclimate. I just put water in there. I keep it in a darker area. I don't light it up like I would a normal tank. I let it just get used to seeing and hearing the new, get used to its new environment and everything that goes on. And then I try feeding it, and they usually eat it right away. So
yeah, I get messages all the time about my geckos not eating right after a show. I'm like, give it a week, give it 2 weeks. They'll eat. And they're not going to eat. Yeah, that's another thing. Geckos usually won't eat in front of you. They're nocturnal. So I'm like, they'll eat at night.
No, with the leopard geckos, and even with all the geckos that I've ever done or anything, I always put food in right away because I figure if it is going to eat, it will eat, and it won't eat in front of you anyway. So it's not a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, most animals will, to tell you the truth. Like I'm gonna offer my Cayman lizard tonight. I'm gonna keep the food in there, see what it does. And turtles are one that's really big. They'll eat right away. Turtles are just machines. Iguanas are another one, but some corn snakes tend to eat right away. They don't care. I've seen corn snakes eat at shows.
They call them the first domesticated reptile snake.
Yeah, they just eat. But I mean, you get something rare like some of the different type of emerald tree boa. You got to give it that time. You have to. Ball python's really bad at it. Ball pythons stress out. They're weird.
Stress out easy.
And you can't tell because they just sit in a ball. Well, when a ball python's sitting in a ball, it's sitting in a ball because it's scared. That's what it's doing. And what I tell people to do is try to mimic the gnat. If you only got 1 or 2 or 3, try to mimic where it's come from. And ball pythons live in holes. So it would be really cool if someone would get like a 55 or 75 gallon tank and fill it up halfway and put a tunnel system in there. So it could live in it. Mm-hmm. That would be really cool for the ball python. I almost guarantee everyone's like, oh, well, look, if you did that, I guarantee it would eat. Put a little box down there where it could go and put the, frozen thawed mouse, at the edge, it would eat.
If you had a big, like 150 gallon tank and you filled it like 3/4 of the way full and only had a little bit and had tunnels in it, the center of that would be cooler, where the outside of it would be warmer, and you'd probably never have no problem. You might never see the snake, but you would have no problem with it eating.
So I mean, that's what I see. I mean, people just need to. Let's see. Yep, and that would be cool. Soccer ball cut open. They love them too. I never thought about that. People try to put human emotion into animals all the time, and they're not. They're just not. Like my Cayman lizard, it would come to me. It wasn't coming to me. It was coming to the warmth. That's what it was doing. And right now he's at whatever 110 degrees, or if he's on the other side at like 85, I guarantee I go in there. He's gonna whip me with that tail. That's what he's gonna do. I guarantee. I'm gonna go right after this. I'm gonna go over there. Then I'm gonna go upstairs, and then I'm gonna grab the mice. I'm gonna go to the second floor of the house, and I'm gonna feed my Nile. But he is very. My Nile tears up mice. He rips them in half. He won't eat them whole. He sits there and rips them and puts his hand down and rips them. I don't know why. You can swallow my whole mouth with ease, but he won't do it. And we're gonna have a tegu here soon.
That'll be cool to see.
We're gonna have a tegu. I'm gonna try to do the YouTube thing, and I'm gonna.
I think as you and I get going here with this, I'm gonna have certain animals sitting here that I can show.
Yeah, that's why I kind of want my Cayman lizard to sit here, but he's not ready. He just had a long day. Yeah, but I'll have the alligator lizards. I'll do a gecko. Next week we have a person that's going to be on talking venomous and his caging.
Sweet.
His name's Josh, and we're going to have him on. We're going to be talking venomous caging and venomous animals.
What kind of venomous does he do? Does he do a little bit of everything?
He has buzztails, cobras, gaboons. Mm-hmm. I sold him some rhinos back in the day. But I seen him. We were at the Janesville show, and I'm walking up. I'm like, wait, that's an albino. What? It's a buzztail. Whoa, wait, what? And then he had a Mojave, and I'm like, whoa. And it was display only, but he was showing off his caging. He has these cool cages. And then he had a gaboon there. And then he had a 4-foot alligator. I'm like, oh, that whatever. 4-foot alligator. I get them all the time. And but he had that gaboon, and I was trying to get. I got up earlier the next day because I wanted to take the gaboon out to take pictures of it and put it on the floor. But he didn't get there early enough before the people got there, so I didn't get to play with the gaboon.
Tanisha, to answer your question, a little bit of everything. Leopard geckos. I might even be able to have the crested gecko up here, and the turtle, some snakes, just all kind of tarantulas.
Yeah, I could do.
I don't hold tarantulas, but I could show them. I won't because, even tarantula falls even a few inches, it could hurt itself pretty serious.
Yeah, I could do hissing cockroaches. I can do crested geckos, gargoyle geckos. I can get the helmeted head out, the alligator lizards, the caiman when it calms down, leopard geckos. I'll have cave geckos here soon. Let's see.
Now, that's the hissers, right? Do you breed them for food or do you breed them for to sell? Because I know a lot of people breed them to sell because they're very interesting.
I've never sold. I don't even sell any of my hissers. Nothing. I never sell. I got Halloween phase. They're really cool looking. I should sell some. Tell you the truth. Now that you say it. And my other hissers, I actually do them for food. And now that I got the caiman lizard and the alligator lizards love the dubias. I can put them. They go nuts over them. They like run up to them.
How do you set up a colony? You should do a video on how to set up a colony.
Yep,
I'm not trying to tell you how to do that.
No, that's
I'm just
awesome.
giving you suggestions because as I get going here and the more and more stuff I get, I can't have them. Becky won't let me keep that stuff in the house, but I got a whole other house, so I could do it over there.
Dubias I keep in tubs. Hissers I keep in tubs. Both of them. I used to do red runners. I don't do them anymore.
I would never do a red runner. You couldn't get me to do a red runner.
I thought they were cool at first, but no more. No.
If they get out, you got to bomb your house, man.
Yeah, nope. I'll never touch a red runner again. But I bring them, and then like my bearded dragons upstairs get the big ones. My turtle gets them. He likes them. It's a nice enrichment for the turtles and stuff like that. They'll rip them apart. My leopard geckos, I'll take the small ones, and I'm just like, oh, guess what, guys? You guys are getting dubias today. And I literally will just start throwing dubias in cages. And they get dubias that day. So by hissers, I tend to, the baby hissers put on weight on geckos fast. So if I get the hissers that are like, that big, a breeding female gets 4 or 5 of those in a 2-week period. She puts her weight back on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's insane. And what else? Like that curly hair likes the dubia roaches.
Yeah, well, they're very good for the roaches. I mean, they're good for the tarantulas, even better than like super worms and stuff. That's the one reason I would like to do the dubias. But now, I don't know if you ran into this problem. Now my last when I was doing leopard geckos about 2-3 years ago. I had a pretty good collection of them, and I did have a breeding colony of dubias. But they didn't like the dubias so much, and I don't know why. I mean, they just did. They ate one here or there. They didn't like them. They like the mealworms. I mean, if I put a bowl of mealworms in there or a bowl of dubias in there, mealworms would be gone. The dubias would still be just sitting in there. They,
that's
very
weird.
rarely.
I will say this: I don't have to get crickets for the fat tail I have. Likes dubias. He's dubias rough tongues.
There you go.
He's loving dubias. I'm like, just keep loving dubias, bud. Just keep loving dubias.
Although crickets are very easy to breed. They're one of the easiest things ever.
I didn't see that the red runners could climb plastic, but they are fast. I mean, they don't crawl. They do a hop. I don't know how to explain it, but they are fast. But
the problem that I see just with red runners is if you dropped a tub of red runners in your house, you can forget it. You drop a tub of dubias, they're gonna die. Red runners won't.
My problem was there were so many, they bred so fast. Like I've never seen roaches breed this fast. I bought 200 from Jillian and Rainbow, and I had thousands within a month and a half. I have no clue how it happened, and I'm sitting there like, and they're so quick, and I know this is going to sound bad. I should have given them to someone that wanted them. I preventamited, and if people don't know what prevenamide is, it's some pretty gnarly stuff.
It's like the nicks you put in your hair, but powerfuler.
It
Kill
took
lice.
3 cans in a week to get rid of them.
Oh,
And I should have just thrown the thing in a fire. I mean,
they gotta go.
It was done.
I'd have said, you don't have much hair, so you weren't pulling your hair out.
No,
Did,
I want to get peanut beetles, and I wanted to buy peanut beetles off of Wally the last show, and I forgot to get them because at the end of the show, everyone was giving me stuff, and I was so overwhelmed with it, I forgot to go buy my peanut beetles. But I want to get peanut beetles for my dwarf stuff, the little stuff.
Now, Wally, peanut beetles, are they good for the pictus? I mean, do the pictus like the peanut beetles better than the mealworms and the stuff like that? Because I think it would be cool to have a colony of peanut beetles too. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I wanted the worms because I don't think you can feed the beetles off the worms, right? Yeah, and I wanted them because I want to start doing
the worms off. Yeah,
so I was going to get them for the helmeted gecko and the baby alligator lizards when they're. What is she doing? Oh,
is she laying eggs over there?
No, she's live bearer. She's digging. So she's like digging around. I don't know where the other one's at, but it usually sits. I got 2 clay pots on their side. It usually sits on that one, but it's leaf and sticks on this side. On this side, it's just a tunnel, and she's out looking around. She sees me. The other one, I don't know where it's at. Whatever. I don't see her that much. That's why I get so excited when I see them and they're walking around. And I'm going to be putting a GoPro in there and leaving it record overnight to watch them.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. So I kind of want. I know this sounds bad. I kind of want to do what like the Brian Barczyk's doing and just have different stuff and say, hey, guess what? Here's Memphis today. We're going to talk about Memphis. Look what we're doing. We're going to ball train them. And show what how to calm down a lizard and the alligator lizards because they're different and leopard gecko breeding. I mean, we can do the leopard gecko breeding. I mean, I'm gonna have them out there. It's just people are gonna say, "Oh, you breed in racks." I guarantee it. That's another reason that leopard gecko breeders. Someone brought this up. Why don't leopard gecko breeders post more? They will be torn in half with how they breed leopard geckos.
Oh yeah. I have to agree with that. Now, Wally, did you find that the red runners could climb plastic or something?
I didn't see that they could, but I will never do red runners. Crickets, I can't do. I wish there was a roach that was like the dubia but stayed smaller.
What about that one? What about that one that they're allowed to keep in Florida? Looks almost like the dubia roach, but it's different. I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know. I didn't get.
They won't let them have dubia roaches, and you're not.
They'll live. They'll live there.
Yeah, but this one they're allowed to have. I can't remember what it's called.
I was just talking. Let's see. We just went from G to PG.
Becky was showing her leg off. I don't know if you've seen her walking through. It was fun.
And
there it is.
Discord.
Yep.
Yeah, and the only reason I will not move to Florida, and I would love to live in Florida because I could put a lot of animals outside, is the tegu ban.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And that's why you guys see behind me, join USARK. If you guys don't know what USARK is, go to usark.org and check it out. Read up on stuff. They are a must.
Okay. Oh, no, I forget what I was going to say. You said something. Oh, the tegu ban. Now, what about Ryan down there? Underground reptile. I don't think he's stopping.
Well, I don't think you have to stop until 2024.
Oh, I don't know what I don't.
Yeah, there's a year that it's done. It's over. Then they can't do it no more. I'm hoping USARK can get down there and do something about it because USARK Florida is working on it. Let's see. You guys have heard my story of a close friend that had dubias and had the. Oh yes, I did. You told me that at a show.
No, I did not. Tanisha said hello, hon.
But
She said hello, Tanisha.
the Tegu ban. There's like a steps in it. Like you can keep them outside until a certain year, then you got to keep them inside. I don't know how that's going to affect Ty Park because he's doing Iguana Land.
Yeah.
And then then people like Crutchfield. And then
Yeah, he's another one.
Camp Ken.
Another one.
These people, how this is going to affect them because like they have a beautiful area. They have beautiful setups, and they're not going to be able to keep the animals outside anymore. After a certain year, they can't even keep them outside.
No, you can't even keep them inside though, can you?
Yeah,
I mean, when they're
you can't buy anymore and you can't produce anymore.
Yes.
But they'll be grandfathered in, and you can keep them inside. But once them animals are gone, they're gone.
Because it says every 15 days.
No, it doesn't say every 15 days.
Oh, I thought it did.
So I don't know if what's going to go on there.
It's worrisome because if it spreads, like, you get up here where there's no way in heck it could survive a summer night outside, let alone
they're trying
where
to
you're at even.
Yeah, they're going to try to put the berms on the act where they can't ship over state lines again.
Yeah, about that, and that's that. They crushed the Illinois thing.
We won that.
So we just got to keep working at it. If he personally keeps working at it, we'll if we keep working at it, like if you join USARC, keep working at it, we'll get there. It's just
USARC is something that's important. I don't think that people should be forced to join it.
One dental stick per day.
Oh, sorry.
But USARC is real important, and it's something that we should join. Look into it, support it. You don't have to join if you can donate. But they're the ones behind fighting these laws.
And if you don't have money to join and you don't have money to donate, go to their website anyway and do what they ask you to do. Sign the petitions, make the phone calls, write the letters. They give you templates to write the letter.
Yeah, and that actually is probably more important than donating. Doing the steps to help with these laws because they got letters written out already. What's that? Oh, screen acts like a ladder, and most of the dubious got out in the apartment. I'm telling you, if them red runners would have got out on me, I swear to God. Oh man, I do have a gecko loose in my room right now, though. I get one gecko room. It's a 15-gram animal. He got out. He'll pop up.
Yeah.
It's a rainwater. Go figure. The rainwater, and I went in there and I'm like, oh, and I had it open by that much. It got out, and I looked in the rack and can't find it. I was like, whatever.
It says it right on the back here.
So
yeah, because that would bother me waking up with that all on the back, on my bed like that, all over the. Holy cow!
That's kind of funny. I'm sorry. That's great. Dubious are cleaning them off.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I got 16 notifications. People are loving that I found my Cayman lizard. But tomorrow morning I'll be probably doing some video on him and doing some something short.
Yeah.
He not we. She is all over the cage right now.
She's probably I find even with things that are gonna give birth.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little early.
They don't like to stand still too much. They like to be on the move.
Yeah, I might have to put the GoPro in there tonight just in case. Because I got a mount. Cool? I got a mount that goes in the corner of the tank. I kind of rigged something out of it, and as long as you don't go in the corner that's right next to it, I'll be able to see it.
Now, how long does that last? How long will that run before it dies on you?
This one should last around 4.5 hours, and I have to come down and redo it in 4.5 hours because I think the battery will die. I got really
Yeah,
good batteries for it.
I have 2 of them around here. I don't know how long they last.
My 4 won't last that long. My 4 lasts like 20 minutes, I think. But my 7 will last a while.
I got the Hero 3, so I don't know how long that lasts.
You
But that doesn't have a screen. Doesn't have a screen on the back.
Yeah, neither my 4. My 4 don't. I can like put it to my phone. But the 7's actually really good. See, I got that. I got my professional cameras, my M50. I think Wally uses the M50. I got a D90. Then I got some high definition cameras. I got some other action cameras. Like literally, if I set all my cameras on this table, I'd be insane. Like, I mean, shoot, I have lenses sitting right here. I mean, look, there's another one right here. There's another one.
So do I. I don't know.
This is a kit lens. This is a 55, 18 to 55. Yeah, 18 to 55.
That's what I got right here. I got one of them.
This is a 300 mil. I don't know what else I got here. Here's another webcam. I don't know. I got so much stuff. I need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I need to be a minimalist. I got like here's a little tripod for
I want to get for my phone.
These are for phone.
I want to get a gimbal.
Wally has one. I don't have a gimbal. I would talk to Wally about it. And Wally's going home. See you later, buddy. I will talk to you soon. Wally has a gimbal. He'd be the person to talk to. I don't have a gimbal for my phone. I don't even have a gimbal for my camera. I got a gimbal.
Thanks
I got cages.
Wally.
I have a cage for it. I'll have to show it to you. Like my camera sits inside a cage, and I can put attachments on it. Because like here's something else. Like this here, this is a bracket that holds. This goes on. It would go on yours too. It would go on. You got T6. This is a screen that I put on the back on the camera, and then I can actually see what's going on better than that little
2-inch by 2-inch square thing. Yeah.
And what I do with this is when I'm out in the wild, I'll have my camera up near the window of the tent, and I'll have this back with me, and I'll be able to see what's there and look at it while I'm watching a video on my phone with headphones on. So I can actually just sit there and go, there's an animal. You can go up there.
Wally does not have a gimbal.
I thought you had a gimbal. Oh, but you don't have a gimbal for your phone? I thought he did. Maybe I was wrong.
They have some nice gimbals, though. I've seen some nice ones.
Yeah, the M50 did. The M50 has a stabilization inside. I could have swore that he had a gimbal for his phone.
I just think that, I use my phone for a lot of my videos. I mean, I should use the camera, but I prefer the phone because it's just I have the phone with me everywhere I go. And I think with a gimbal on there, it would change. And I got to get a better editing program thing on my phone too.
Yeah, you'll get rid of that shake. What's nice about when you go to a camera like this lens, even a kit lens, this has in-lens stabilization. So that shake, that natural handshake goes
later,
away.
Wally.
Hey, see you later, Wally. I don't have anything. Like my 50 millimeter doesn't have a stabilization.
I don't know. No.
Why are you doing drugs?
Drugs. That's what he said too. Drugs.
This is a cheaper lens too. This is like that's why it's sitting here. It's not in my bag. It's a 75 to 300 mil, but it sits here because these are cheaper lenses. I don't know what else I got. I got stuff sitting out all over. Like here, I got a little tripod. This one here, actually, I could do this all day. This I can put on top of this tripod, and then it has a spot for a phone. This is what you need: a spot for a phone, and you can do vlogs. That's what this thing does.
What is this one here? Let me see what this one is. I got this one right here.
Yeah, that's the same one I just had. Yep, that's 75 to 300.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. The 75 to 300 is actually a really nice lens. I shot, I don't know if people seen it. I have a flamingo shot. That's just like the head and the neck. It was shot with this lens. So you say you can't do good pictures with these lenses, you can. And it was taken with a T5. We'll have to do photography.
Yeah, we'll have to do one. I'm not the best on it, so we'll have to.
Like, I can see if I can find it while we talk. Like, let's see. Photos. Oh, wait, I can just go to Animal Treasure Films. Animal Treasure. Like, to give you guys an example, I can actually share this now. Share screen. This picture here, that one there was taken with an M50 with that was a 500 millimeter lens. Now I've edited it. Let's see what else I got here. Same thing with that. That was taken with a 500 millimeter lens.
Them are such nice pictures, man.
Let's see what. Oh, this is a flamingo that was taken with that. Whoops, I went the wrong way. Oh, that was a video. This will actually order product. This is an old video I did. Let's see. It's gonna be me talking. I thought I had the flamingo on here.
That's a cool turtle one.
Yeah, the turtle there. That's the little turtle here. I forget where that was at. It was taken with a phone though. That was taken with a cell phone. Let's see. There's that turtle one again. Let's see. Nope, I don't have it on this one. Let's see. Orner Photography. Now you guys are gonna see all my stuff. Oh, there's the flamingo. I know. Connect. I know. Cancel. I don't want to do that. Why is it asking me to do that?
Connect your little X up in the corner.
Yeah, I know. There it is. I don't want to do that. Okay, leave. Whatever. There's the flamingo.
That's a good picture.
That was taken with this 300 millimeter lens. So now people are starting to see that I do some wacky stuff. I like doing photography. Owner photography. Let's see what else. This was taken at that was taken with the 55, the kit lens here. That was taken with a T5, and it's just a place here in Green Bay. It's a sanctuary. There's a coyote at the sanctuary. Let's see. Water at the sanctuary. There's the flamingo again. This bat picture here, this was actually taken at the Columbus Zoo. I was actually inside the cage. That's why it looks so good. I got to be inside the cage when I took that one. There's a toad that was at the Columbus Zoo. They have a path, and that was that. You could actually pick that up if I wanted to. I could have just picked it up. Let's see what else I got here. This is actually in Wisconsin. A little, I forget what they call it, but I thought it was cool, so I actually pulled over and I took that picture.
Do you ever take pictures of like old farms and stuff like that?
Yes, I do. I do all the time. I take pictures of some weird stuff. I just like
they have them all over here,
and it's the best pictures. I mean, it's the best pictures. Like if we go through here, this is overblown. This is before. This is when I was first starting, so you can see the overblown shot. I should be able to fix that now that I know what I'm doing. There's an elephant eye. Let's see. There's a hippo. You can start seeing there's a squirrel. That guy was like really close to me. There's a rhino. That's a really good shot.
These were taken at the Columbus Zoo?
No, this was taken at the Toledo Zoo. These are all Toledo Zoo animals. There's a timber. Day gecko.
You were talking about the Columbus Zoo. Now that's where Jack Hanna's at, right?
Columbus, yeah. Me and Jack Hanna don't get along.
I was going to ask you that because I couldn't. I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen some of his stuff, and I've watched him on late shows and all, and I think to myself, him and I wouldn't get along very long because first off, he technically to me, now I'm not putting anybody down, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's a puppet.
I'm not saying that to be rude or nothing, but I watch him and I'm like, he's wrong. He's wrong. And he doesn't handle none. He has to have the handlers come out or the people come out and talk about this stuff. He can't do it because he doesn't know it.
Well, he's a face. That's what he is. I don't get along with them. Yeah, the Columbus Zoo is a nice zoo, though. If you can go to Columbus Zoo,
I believe it is.
They
That's
got
like,
a really good primate.
It'd be great if this summer you could ever make your way out here, and then we can go down to the reptile gardens. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, we can go bug Terry one time. I can go bug Terry.
Fun.
I think he'll let me film there too. I think he would.
That would be a slap in the face. I ain't gonna say nothing, but you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah, I guarantee he would let me film there.
He told me he wanted me to come down and go, and he said, I'll take you in the back. We'll go in the back. We'll take stuff out and take pictures. Do whatever you want.
Terry's good people. Terry's just.
I like him. He's very cool. The problem is the only days I can get down there usually is the days on my birthday, which is Dad's birthdays. It's like only a couple days, and he goes into his parents, so it's tough to work out a schedule.
Make it happen. Like I said, we just make it happen. I thought about going that way because I want to take Laura to go see orcas in the wild. And I've met some people that run a charter or ferry or whatever it is and go see them. And I said, we can make a trip of it and go that way and go out and see the orcas. Because my wife likes orcas. And I know some people are going to be like SeaWorld. I took her to see SeaWorld.
It's different.
Yeah. I'm not a SeaWorld fan, and neither my wife. She wanted to see the orcas, though. And so we went to SeaWorld in San Diego, and we seen the orcas. I was the first ever taker there. And now I said, now we'll go see orcas. Now we're going to go see them in the wild.
Mm-hmm. I think I could. My cousin owns a huge farm down there, by close to where Terry's at down there.
Yeah,
and if you want to go look at rattlesnakes, they're all over where his place is.
Yeah, the Dakotas. I will say, last time I was in the Dakotas at the rest stops, they say please do not go off the sidewalks because of rattlesnakes. I was like, that's kind of cool. I liked it. But yeah, I want to do more herping. I was talking to my buddy Mike Clarkson. He does filming for like Net Geo and stuff like that. And he said next time he's in Wisconsin area, we're going to meet up. And I want to work with him. I want to film with him and do stuff with him. I don't know if it's going to be anything serious, but I told him if I'm near him and I want to just hook up with him. It's just filming is fun for me. Just shooting the animal with the camera instead of a gun. That's what I like to do.
You're like me.
I mean, I can go out and just look at deer, and they're like, "Oh, that's food." It's not to me. That's a deer. I'll go buy meat in the store.
Like I say to people around here, I tease them all the time. I'm like, "Why do you go out and kill that animal? Why don't you go to get some at the grocery store where no animals are hurt?"
They laugh
at me like, "Yeah, okay, buddy."
Yeah. But someone else got to take off. I don't know who that is, but they got to take off. I got my other page closed now.
Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, thank you for stopping in, guys. It's getting late, so we can sign off here. We've been going for 2.5 hours, and next week we have a venomous show coming up. We're gonna have 3 people on here. Our first interview. I will be putting ads out tomorrow. We're gonna start advertising it.
Yeah, get this out there big time.
And then 2 weeks from now, we're gonna have Nico on. Nico is a dart frog breeder, and you guys are going to love him. We're going to build him up. He's a really good guy, a really good friend. I mean,
you have to help me out because I'm not really big on dart frogs. Yeah,
that's what's perfect. You can ask him questions. He's a good guy. Nico is just awesome. He's got a cool TikTok. But next week you're gonna see links in the descriptions. You're gonna see cool stuff going on. Because we got interviews and we got stuff happening after that. I'll be releasing the schedule soon.
I got the Kalubrid guy I was telling you about. We just got to send him dates so he can come on. So
I'll get you the dates. I got that calendar. Only 2 dates are taken right now. Next 2 weeks. So everything else, whatever, we can do it. We talked to Heidi of Zeno. She's gonna come on. Now I do have a zookeeper. A very good friend of mine, but where we got to work out some details. I don't know how it's going to go because the zoo does have rules for him. So, but I do have a zookeeper that's willing to try. So,
like he can't answer certain questions. You mean?
We don't know. We don't know exactly what he's gonna let me know. So we'll have a zookeeper on. He's a really good friend of mine. He's awesome. I go to him if I have questions. Like I actually went to him about 2 years ago and says, I don't care about the money. I want to be a keeper. How do I get in? That's what I said. And he said it's hard to get into the game unless you go to a smaller zoo. And he was really upfront with me. Even though I'm self-taught and I know what I'm talking about, there's other things that have to be involved. So all zookeepers aren't against keeping animals. I promise you. No, they're not.
I know. I know there's a few that are not.
Yep. And I'm gonna get Jim Harrison on too. Jim and
I was just
Kristen.
it's weird how we think alike because I was just gonna say we need to get Jim just now. I was just gonna say that.
I'll get Jim Harrison on and we'll talk about his fingers missing and it not being venomous snakes. He lost them fighting. So Jim's a good guy. He's the bionic man though. He's had more hip surgeries than I know anyone in my life.
Oh yeah.
And then he goes and kickboxes afterwards.
I know. I've noticed that.
He's a machine. So we can get him on, talk about snake farming or venomous milking and why it's not $1 million job.
You see a lot of people say that. They're like, wow, if I just get these and I start milking them, I'll make $1 million. Because you know what they do? They'll look it up. They'll look up like cobra venom.
Yeah.
$10,000 a gram or something. That don't mean you're going to get $10,000 a gram. And then you got to follow protocol. And do you know how much it takes to get that after you freeze dry it?
And most of it don't go to make antivenom anyway. That's what they don't understand. It goes to other research. Like I know that they have, I forget what venom it was, but it was for painkiller. It was for painkillers and stuff like that. So we'll get Jim on here for sure. I got Heidi that said yes. I got it. DNA exotics, DNA reptiles will be on. He was shocked. He goes, really? I'm like, yes. We'll talk some ball pythons and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I got another friend from the Madison Area Herp Society is going to be on.
I don't know if you ever thought of this, but I try to get some of the manufacturers of stuff on.
I thought about trying to get someone from Zilla, but then I don't know how that's going to go right now. But I was thinking cage builders.
Cage builders, like the Venom Lock people, they're willing to get their information out big time.
Yeah, so we can do something like that. I was even thinking about if we get going really good, I could contact Venom 1, see if we can get them on.
Oh, they're cool.
See, what goes on there. So there's a lot of different things that we could do. Maybe I was even thinking about, getting Tom Crutchfield on here and saying, hey, we want to talk about this subject, like the importation of animals. I mean, he knows about importation of animals.
I had him on my show once and wealth of information.
Yeah, I think if we get some of these people on, we got to kind of like narrow in the topic because I mean, we could just talk for hours with like Tom Crutchfield and
you could talk to him for days and never even come to an end of what he got and he knows. So you have to narrow this topic down to a certain
I was thinking him. There's a lot of people like venomous wise I would like to get on, but then there's like people like there's a couple people in the San Diego Zoo that I reached out to that I met when I was out there. Now they're not really good friends of mine. I just met them. Like there's a Jessica, she worked feeding the birds. And I was like, hey, and she gave me her contact information because I was telling her, I was like, I would love to find out what goes on behind the scenes at the zoo. It would be cool to get her on here. She was literally throwing mealworms in the air and the birds were coming down and grabbing them in the air. And then I do have a friend that knows a lot of people at the San Diego Zoo. So maybe we can get them involved, see if we can do something like that. I was even thinking about trying to get like the orca people that I'm talking to come on and talk about orcas because we could show video. They can give me videos and I can just go boom and hit the video and show videos while we talk.
See, now that's awesome.
This with being fauna radio, we could talk anything wildlife. We can just go anywhere. So, maybe I need to do a picture. Oh my Lord, people are going. Oh, my buddy Ron is getting his Cayman lizard on Tuesday.
That's awesome. What group are you in right now reading from?
It's on my main page on the one that I posted that said the ride to this boy has been hell. He just posted, he goes, so jelly and grateful that your little guy made it early because I got mine first. I'm excited that Ron is getting one. It's going to be awesome. the support of you guys and the friends during, I was going nuts. I don't even know.
I could tell, and that's why I was like, I hope. That's why I had to ask you. So if this is bothering you, me showing you pictures or something, let me know, because I felt bad because you were going through all that. And then when you texted me bright and early this morning, they found it. I was like, yes.
I was like, do I text him? Because I found out like at 5 a.m. or 5:30. I was like, oh my God, they found him. And my wife was like, okay. I was like, well, they got him, and I'm like, oh, good. So it took everything in me to lay back down for a little bit longer. Then when I got the phone call, I was stressing out the door. And I was like, cool.
That would have been too.
And yeah, everything went good. So, all right, man. Wow, we talked. See, it's always the ones we don't have a plan for.
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
Good. See, now, here's another thing. Even if we're doing have people on to do interviews, and we interview them, and they only stay for so long, they go, we can continue on with other stuff. So
yeah, so we got a good plan. Next week we're gonna be talking some venomous caging. He designed a safe venomous lock where the venomous snake will go in a section, you can lock it off, and then you can clean the cage safely. So I'm excited about that. I actually looked at him and I'm like, wow, that actually makes sense. I am ashamed to say I didn't recognize who he was, but he knew who I was. So he remembered me, like, you sold me rhinos. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I remember. Just don't go back and watch this video and learn the truth.
Yeah, so I think I told him again, I was like, I really didn't remember you. And but I mean, I dealt with so many people. The venomous world, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be fun. He's got gaboons, he's got same stuff I do, like he had monocle cobras. So we'll get his links up and his videos up and stuff.
All right, it's gonna be fun.
So all right, man, you got anything else to say to anyone?
No, I don't. I'm gonna thank everybody for popping in. This was a great one today.
Yeah, it was awesome. So
we had a lot of activity today.
Yeah,
so that's a good sign. Too bad you can't see the Twitter comments up here, because you said we had some Twitter followers, right?
Yeah, we got Twitter followers. They're working on that. I think I'm going to open up Twitter on this screen over here and start looking at it. They might be able to comment. I don't know. I think they just kind of sit and watch, but we don't have anyone on Twitter at this moment. It's one on Fauna Radio. Oh, we got one person on Fauna Radio Twitter right now, Twitch. On Twitch, we have someone watching.
Twitch, that's what I meant, not Twitter. Twitch.
So we got one person on Fauna Radio, one person on Fauna Radio Twitch. We got one person right now on Leopard Gecko Breeder Help, and then one on Fauna Radio Facebook. So we stream at 8 different spots, which is Animal Treasure Films, Fauna Radio YouTube, Orner Exotics YouTube, Fauna Radio Twitch, then some groups, and Fauna Radio everywhere. Fauna Radio. So
sweet.
All right, guys, I appreciate everybody. I will be online for a little bit longer because people are going to send me messages, but I'm going to go check on the Cayman, and I'm going to miss down the girl over here. She's going nuts, and I got to feed a Nile monitor.
Yeah, it's always fun.
All right, guys, we are out.
Peace.